Hello, hello, hello. Hopefully people can hear me. Excited to be here. Let's get started. Let's put people on the stage. Hello, 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 hello. Hey, fellas, can you hear me? Hopefully.
Yep.
Hello, I can hear you.
The music though.
The music, the most important part, right? Everyone agrees on this. The music is the most important part.
Okay.
Everyone demands the music. Ain't that right? Gibbs get. Oh, well, fine. Let's not bring that up. Thank you, fellas, for being here. The music's important, right?
It's such a bad song.
People said the favorite part of the show is the music. But for you,
I was
Connor,
jamming in the back.
because it was good. Yeah, everyone loves it. Everyone's jamming. Yeah, there you go.
The little royalty-free music.
The best kind of music. Like,
I'm be honest, I don't like people who listen to video game music in real life. Like you don't really like it.
I 100% agree. It's like, what are you talking about? You like
people listen to Kingdom Hearts music all the time. I don't know.
Yeah, wait, hold on. I know they exist. They're terrible people.
Kingdom Hearts music is terrible music.
They're not ensouled. That's the problem with them.
Ensouled? Sorry, what do you mean?
They don't have a soul.
Oh, don't have a soul. Okay.
Yeah. It's a Catholic term. They're not ensouled.
Okay, sorry. I've never heard that before.
But get up on your,
but it's like I just feel like they just want to be a part of something.
This is the wrong opinion.
This is
by the way.
my personality.
Yeah.
So I like the video game music, and I play the video game, and I wear the video but you don't really like this thing.
Yeah, unless you're listening to GoldenEye 007, then you get.
They do have some pretty fire 007.
You guys are just wrong. You guys are wrong. There's so much good music on video games. You guys are wrong.
No one's saying that there's not good music while you're playing video games, but it's not good enough to check out while you're not playing the video games.
When I was at Freaky Deaky, they played one of the nastiest GoldenEye EDM remixes I've ever heard, and I had to immediately download it. I was like, that's fire.
Yeah, but that's made for your consumption. It's
Maybe
different.
you can remix something.
So what about all the
old or something?
What about all the music tracks on Madden and 2K?
Those are different because they're.
Those are different.
No, wait, hold on. Those are obviously different. That's just a song that they hosted
on what is the song going?
You're so
video game. Yep.
You don't believe this. You know the distinction that we're making. It's actually not even a little bit not confusing.
So, my friend Bam, right?
This also applies to anime OSTs.
He He says,
Bam, you're just so
specifically-
wrong right now. I've never
he
disagreed
says-
with you more in my life.
Well, you'll find more reasons to disagree with Bam. Don't worry, he'll always give you more. But he says this specifically to antagonize me. He knows what he's doing, right? Look at his fucking face. He knows what he's doing. Of course,
I do mean this from the bottom of my heart, but yes, it feels better to. I know it affects you as well.
Yeah, so of course
but like I judge you more, Prime.
What happened? Why is Prime getting judged?
Because I listen to video game
like
music,
I was saying that like people who like listen to
outside of the games.
The WWE also has some fire-ass theme songs too.
Those are different. We're talking about what's it called? Not acapella. The opposite of instrumentals.
No one. You can have one. So there's instrumental music in video games. And
you
then
playing lo-fi in the background of your
for the
stream? Is that what he's talking about?
Yeah.
Yes.
Damn, you're having.
But like you're actually listening to
interruptions.
lo-fi. You put it in your headphones and then you go for a jog. You are not insoled. I stand by it. If you do that behavior.
So there is instrumental music
Wrong
made
opinions.
for video games, and then there's vocals, like songs with vocals made for video games, right? Both of them, I listen to both of them. Both of them can be equally valid. If you like a music,
You jam the game soundtracks?
what difference? Yeah, well, what
Fucking
difference
lit.
what difference
Hell
does it
yeah.
make where it comes from? Yeah, you're back, Bam.
The difference is that there's a good place and a bad place. That's the difference.
Good music is good for whenever place.
Yeah, I agree with that. Which is why the good music is always preferential to listen to.
I think soundtrack
not
music is
true.
specific to the soundtrack. I need the ambiance around it. Never in my day am I walking around feeling enough like Link to be listening to Link's music. You know, that's kind of I think the issue.
Thank you.
No.
So at my wedding, I had.
I'm just at Amazon putting packages away listening.
We had
isn't that
Legend of Zelda
crazy behavior, Ollie?
They were like
he's at work and he's got fucking headphones and listening to Zelda.
Ocarina of Time in the background.
Why is that crazy? Sorry, go ahead, Gibbs.
I'm saying, yeah. So when I did my wedding, one of the things we did for like the little cocktail hour, we had like all the like band shit, but we had a live band play like classical versions of like the Ocarina of Time, and we had like Star Wars shit, but it was like all like classical, like artsy fartsy.
You
and
would.
People
have
were trying
Star
to like
Wars in
guess
the
which ones they
background.
were. Yeah, well, my whole wedding was Star Wars themed at the time, but yeah, people like guessing the theme songs, like that's this song. I'm like, that's right. It's pretty good.
Kind of what's your take on game
Disney,
theme music?
I'm glad that Disney took over Star Wars and low-key kind of ruined it for you. Like
Hey,
that makes me happy inside.
It's fine. Hey, I mean, you know what low-key makes me happy?
What's that?
That you're happy.
Oh, that's sweet. Thanks, kid.
Yeah. Okay. I think you should be able to enjoy.
By the way, Hunter, I blame all this.
can
for
do
you.
whatever
You don't even
you
know.
want.
I am the
And
Jew.
part of doing whatever you want is me
I-
judging what you're
last
doing.
week because of Hunter. It's all
What is
Hunter's
Gibbs
fault.
screaming about? What is he?
Hunter has caused that people now.
Freedom
Every
of
time I
speech,
go to
baby.
TikTok, they all think that I'm a Jew now because of Hunter. I just get Mossad comments and
Hold
Jew
on.
comments.
Here's
shit
what's
now.
crazy. You think I'm a Jew? I went to
You
fucking
told us you
Sarah's-
were a Jew.
Wait, you are Jewish.
I'm Jewish.
He's
I'm-
Jewish-ish.
Now they think I'm a Jew.
no.
I'm literally like back to the Neanderthal level genetic.
No.
Ask
There's
me.
a distinction. Hold on. There's a distinction because there's a distinction between like religious Jews, like Orthodox Jews, and then those who just like their
They're
mom
talking
is
genetic
Jewish.
Ashkenazi or some shit.
There's a difference.
Yeah, he's
no. But he
ethnically-
brought me
your
onto
mom's
onto
gotta
a
be
debate,
Jewish.
onto a religious debate on the Bible, and I'm like, oh, I'm an atheist. I'm obviously going to take the other. And Sarah's
Sure.
like,
Yeah,
oh, well,
well,
you're the
regardless,
Jew on the
they all
debate.
think I'm part of the Mossad because of you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Hunter. It's all your
If
fault.
you think
Okay.
if you think I care how bad you are having it, think about how amplified it is for me. You're just getting it.
I just send them to your TikTok. I just post.
Gibbs,
your
it's just
TikTok
that you're
link.
looking more Eastern European every day, you know.
I know.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
we are
let's
from
get-
there.
I gotta start learning to dodge. I guess.
Ali, you agree we are
Let's
from
get
there?
started.
From where?
From the from Palestine.
Who's from there?
The savant from
I guess all of
the
civilization did
Levant.
kind of start in Africa, I guess. So technically we're all,
Yeah.
That's true.
Let's
That's
get
why
started,
we all
fellas.
get the N pass.
Hell yes.
Oh boy.
Get him, Bam. Get him, Riddell. Get him.
Wait, hold on,
I'll
is that
join
not
too,
true,
guys.
Brian?
It's okay.
I'm not doing
It's
this.
okay. I join. I'm slightly more melanated than the rest. Just a little bit.
So we're gonna get started. Hey, on that note, guys, everyone, right? So Twitch is being a bit more strict with language. Notices have gone out, so just be aware of that. So hey, guys, be very careful as to what you say. No slurs. I mean, you guys are pretty good any which way. Like, there's not like a big deal on my panel, right? But I just need to say that, right?
Well, Hunter was baiting me there.
Hunter's been baiting me too.
What, saying the N-word?
No, with your question.
What am I doing?
It's fine. It's fine, Hunter. It's okay. Okay. But guys, seriously, like, just like be aware of your language. I don't do anything that can get any of us in trouble. All right. I know that can be quite expansive in social media platforms today, but we're just trying to do our best, right? So no one, like, just be careful, all right?
Yeah, Bam, watch your shit, man.
Yeah. Okay, so I just wanted to state that, and we'll focus on the main topic, and we'll get started now, right? Because I think there's a lot to discuss, and we got a full panel. Haven't had a full panel in such a long time. So I'm really excited that we have all of you. My voice did a weird thing just then. Don't point it out. Okay.
You want to resend that topic?
You want to
resend that topic there, Prime?
Yeah, because you got to dig through fucking a lot.
Okay.
To find the. You know
I mean, I got it. My original DM. You know,
sorry, did I send the wrong topic
DM before?
No, I was just making a joke at the 3,000 text in this thread.
I had to mute that shit last night.
Blasted. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, we're here and we're focused on the topic. Okay. So anyway, thanks all for being here. Much appreciated. Guys, if you enjoy this space, you beautiful people out there, consider following the channel. You haven't done so before. Hit the follow button wherever you happen to be. I'm on Twitch, YouTube, and Kick. So consider following me at PRIMECAYS. Would love to have you. All right. So we're gonna get started. I'm gonna read the topic and then we'll go around with intros. Okay, so in the House of Representatives, there is an unprecedented turnover happening. More incumbents have lost their seats than has happened in decades. This is paired with at least 62 members not seeking re-election. Much of this current turnover has been driven by a progressive wave washing away centrist Democrats. I was trying to be poetic there. However, we saw a similar situation a decade ago when Republicans were being defeated across the country during the Tea Party Revolution. This is a good thing. Is there a benefit to having long-term institutional stability through long-serving members? Does this strengthen the country or hurt it? Should incumbents be protected by their party? Or should the party step back and let voters decide one way or another? Does your answer change when people coming into office are extreme? However you define that. I'll leave that up to you. But yeah, so just a little bit more expansion on that. Yeah, it's huge. Right? This is I mean, as huge as it can be, right? So far, I think I believe in total like 9 people have lost races, which doesn't sound like much, but like incumbency is extremely powerful, right? Like the fact that that number sounds so low is because that generally doesn't happen. Incumbents just come into office. And sit there for decades. Lindsey Graham just died on his seat, right? So that's just how it goes in American politics. Incumbency has a lot of power. And then again, right, like because for various reasons, but at least one of the reasons why those 62 members have not sought re-election is because they understand this is a big change election that's happening. They can see that. There's a lot of headwinds coming at them. And so to preserve their political power, right? They leave office. It's always better if you don't lose a race. Even if you just leave before you're about to lose a race, right? That's better than losing a race. So they'll do that, right? But this is a big thing. Like we lose like a lot with that, right? There's a lot of people who've been there for so long and know how the House works, know how to quote unquote get things done in Congress. Oh, I have a big problem with that, but I'll go with that for a second. There are it's just knowledge that's lost, right? Is that okay, right? Or should we be more interested in like this new energy that's being put in, right? Again, new energy was put in for the Republicans when the Tea Party came through, right? A lot of new energy. And then Donald Trump happened, right? Like the Republicans were ascendant. when all that came through. Yeah, like maybe it's a good thing, maybe it's a bad thing. I was actually going to let Bam go first, but he's having trouble because Bam is the one who inspired this topic, and hopefully he can get his network connection in order because I really want to hear from him. But as always, right, we start for White Man.
I have better things to say than Bam. So,
I'm sorry, about good friend Blacktoid.
Hi, can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, we can.
It's only good that I go first. I did win the coin flip that happened early on in this.
Was rock, paper, scissors.
Rock, paper, scissors. My bad. I won the rock, paper, scissors early on. It's been so long. I forget what kind of game of chance it was.
Rock, paper, scissors has a little bit of luck, a little bit of skill.
Fair enough. I'll take it. I'm better. I agree. I'm better. And so the White Man goes first.
Calm down. I'm better.
So I just want to comment. I think one of the greatest degenerations of our political arena has been in the fact that we can't say slurs on Twitch, as Prime just warned us. That is entirely you people, you lefties. This is not the right that is causing this. This is a direct responsibility of this is the culture war, and I think that you guys should be held responsible for that. Hopefully someday. In terms of the broader question of, well, how are things going in American politics? I know everybody likes to be doomer and everybody likes to have this nostalgia for how great things were back in the 80s when you could smoke on planes. I mean, hey, it's pretty good to me. But I think that the reality here is that generally things are better. But in terms of politically, I think things are just nuanced, right? There's some good things and there's some bad things. There's things that I agree with more. So I think we've been a lot less interventionist. I know we still are because we're still America. But when you compare it to the full-scale invasions that we were doing in the early thousands, I think that we are less interventionist, and we're a little bit easier on things like weed than where we used to be. I mean, that was and drugs generally. I mean, that was a pretty serious thing that we undertook. We are getting a little bit worse on free trade, which I think is bad economically, and we're kind of seeing this on both sides of the aisle as well when it comes to both, tariffs and then also taxation. More from the tariffs more on the right now and taxation more on the left. But generally speaking, obviously, I think the left has gone much further left since the 90s than the right has gone right. If you want to go step by step and look through every single specific policy platform. And I think that is a major problem. And I've said this before, I think Democrats thus pose a major serious threat to the politics of the country. And it's only been getting worse since the DSA has been winning elections. Avowed socialists and some of them avowed Marxists are openly winning elections and beating the centrist sort of long-standing Democrat politicians in the primaries. Some of you are cool with that. Some of you are lamenting it. But I think it represents a serious shift in how your party deals with itself and what kind of people that your party is appealing to. And I think that's much more of a serious threat than the Tea Party or even MAGA. In terms of the other question here, what about all these people, Nancy Pelosi's, these people have been in politics forever. Are we losing something when they're leaving? To some extent, yeah. I think fresh blood is good. I think that it prevents the development of stagnation, complacency, and political machines. I do think we do lose a little bit of expertise, long-term planning, people who are used to all the mechanisms and procedures of everything. But on balance, I think it's generally good to get newer politicians, as long as they agree with me, mostly. To me, that policy is much more important than whether or not they're new or old, honestly. But assuming that two politicians, all else equal, I think having somebody new come in might be a good thing.
Thanks so much. And before we go on to the next person, we have a $20 super chat from Pondering Politics. Has a whole list of statements.
Damn it.
It says,
just ignore the Star Wars one.
He has his own opening.
It says, I have messages. Tell Hunter I recently watched TROS. I don't know what that is.
The Rise of Skywalker.
Okay. And thought of him every exquisite second. Oh, God, please.
He masturbates to it. I don't know if you guys know this. I'm not joking.
He's fascist but a stud.
Down 20 pounds, Josiah. I'm down 20 pounds.
Hell yeah!
Hey,
Good job, brother.
Seriously, good work. Tell Gibbs Andor is the best. It is.
I agree.
You
It is amazing.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right. Good opinions. Tell Connor Sheev would punk the God Emperor. Buddy, you'll have to help me out with that one.
Fuck you, Josiah.
Sheev is Palpatine.
They also already have. They already have their
I'd
version of
still
Sheev
take the
in 40K.
Mandalorian.
They already have
I think
versions of Sheev
Mandalorian's
on 40K.
better
They
than
have Vangarich in the War of the Beast series.
Interesting.
Is in there.
So-
He's basically Palpatine, but weaker.
This is a debate between Warhammer, I believe, and Star Wars. Is that correct, Gibbs?
Yes.
Yeah.
And Connor is a big Warhammer fan as well. Did I translate well for the
You did.
plebs?
You did
Cool.
good.
Which is surprising
Thank you.
because usually the Warhammer fans are the fascists. But anyway, continue.
True. Okay. All right. Well, anyway, thank you so much for the kind $20.
I also like Warhammer,
Modern
so.
politics. Yeah.
What's your army lactoid? What's your army lactoid?
Tau, don't judge me.
I'm judging. You never stop being a tanky. It's clear.
Let's go.
I'm sure
to
this is
our...
hilarious if I knew what was going on.
Yeah, I have no idea. I'm lost. I'm sorry, friends. Let's go to our friend Hunter, who we haven't had here for a long time. Hunter, like we've
I know it's
honestly
been
missed you.
It's been busy. Thank you so much for having me again. Look, I think most people know where my political ideologies lie. I'm a centrist shill. No, I'm not a centrist shill. I would consider myself a progressive, but I'm definitely not aligned a lot with these DSA types. Sort of depends. I mean, Lander, I think, is okay. I think DAC is kind of a raging psycho. I think Hong is a raging psycho. I think there's definitely some psychos that are infested in our party right now that I'm a little bit worried about for sure. But I think the big frustration that I have right now with this conversation is the framing that I just cannot believe is occurring. Much of this current turnover has been driven by a progressive wave. No. I just really disagree with the framing here. I think that there are certain DSA candidates that are doing better than they thought in extremely deep blue districts that are obviously more left-wing than I am. But in the purple states and the rest of normal America, they don't do well. I think that progressives, I mean, it kind of depends on where we're looking at, but moderates are still doing okay. Progressives are still doing okay. DSA is doing, I mean, hats off to them. They're doing a better job historically than they ever have. But to call this the vast majority of the 62 members not seeking re-election is driven by this progressive wave when there's like 8 representatives that we're referring to, and one of them was Stevens, who won by less than a percentage point in Michigan, or sorry, not Stevens, El Sayed, but beat Stevens. This feels crazy. I don't know. There's also another question: should incumbents be protected by their party? I don't know what this means. I always like fresh blood. I think that it's good that there should be some overturning. Obviously, there's some systemic reasons as to why incumbents do better than their party. They already have an established. They already have the ability to. I don't know. They've already got infrastructure that the newbies are up against. So I don't know exactly how to counter correct that. But if it's like, I don't know. I think incumbents are. I think when someone overturns an election, they're usually welcomed by the party. So I don't even know what that question means. I think that's about it. But yeah, I'm still going to vote for Hong. I'm still going to vote for El Sayed. I'm still going to vote for. I mean, not that I can.
You're going to vote in all those states?
I know.
Yeah, it's just
overplayed your hand there, Hunter.
Right. I can do that shit. I just go over there. I just
Overplayed your
votes,
hand.
and then I tell the Democratic Party in charge.
Wait, just real quick, Hunter, when they're saying like should they be protected, they're talking about the people in the House, like Jeffries endorsing the incumbents, like they're talking about the endorsements. That's protection that they're talking about.
Of course, the Democratic primary should always endorse the primary winners. I think that it's fine that they endorse whoever they feel like is better in terms of like the actual primary. I don't know why that should not be controversial. I feel like I don't know what else to do about
that. They're talking about in the primary. So like obviously,
in the primary you can vote. You can endorse whoever you want.
But in the primary, they do kind of have rules that they endorse the incumbents. Like that's kind of just the way it's always been done.
Sure.
So
you can always just not endorse someone. I don't even Of course, obviously, if it's someone who you've been working with, you're more likely to endorse them, and also you don't want to endorse the wrong person, and then the person goes in, and it's like, oh shit, now I have to still work with them. I thought we were friends. Yeah, but if you have strong ideological, I don't know, if you're strongly ideologically consistent with them, then yeah, endorse them. I feel like I've been talking for too long. I'm gonna pass it.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of always feel that way about you. But let's go to our friend.
Hell yeah, brother.
Let's go to our friend Gibbs, please.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, incumbents are good till they're not. Do you lose something with an incumbent that's been there 35 years or something is gone? Yeah, I mean, sure, you lose their connections, their power. But, if they're not getting the job done, just like John Cornyn wasn't doing it, just like Massey, just like some of these other people haven't been doing it, it's time to get the fuck out. I'm so excited that we're getting rid of all these neoliberal, neocon, uniparty, baby back bitches, and we're getting back to conservatism in the era of Polk, when we're going and rebuilding the empire. I'm so excited the Greater North America plan is being put into effect, and we're back to modern Fortress America with the Don Road Doctrine and controlling all these different ports all over the world, all these straits, all these wonderful things. This is what America's about. Whooping ass, taking names. I love it. And I'm excited to see these people that are not getting on board getting kicked off the train. And, if you're not going to sit here and get the job done, you're not going to vote for what the people want, it's time to go. And in fact, I'm going to say something crazy. Dan Patrick, he's in the pocket of big tobacco and big alcohol. And guess what? In Texas, there's a real chance now he might fucking get kicked out because he pissed off the farmers. He's pissed off the fucking smoke shop dealers, pissed off these people. And Republicans are now talking about voting blue or voting third party on the lieutenant governor slot. Ken Paxton's even mad because now he thinks that Talrico's got a chance because of the stupidity that Patrick has done. And whenever you do something stupid, you deserve to get booted. And so I think it's fine whenever you have an incumbent that gets kicked out. And people that say I'm a partisan hack, guess what? I'm saying right now I might vote third party or blue against Dan Patrick just to get him out. And I'll vote red on the rest. But hey, if you fuck up, you got to go. And that's really how simple it is. Also, I do want to say, we have one more franchise in this room. And I think it's important because we're talking about America projecting peace overseas. So peace through power. I'm going to turn it over to Kane next. There we go. Thank you.
I know. Is that a
that's Brotherhood of Nod?
That's a Brotherhood of Nod, bro.
Yes, he knows that one. There you go.
Flash and
I'm fucking GDI all the way, so I am unsurprised by this development.
Yeah, I mean, I do have a religious background, so it makes sense.
Okay. They're the terrorists, though.
Oh, they also are the cool ones.
Wait, hold on. He loves terrorists. What do we? I don't understand the confusion.
Yeah. I like
anybody wants to bomb terrorists.
Anti-terrorism.
The GDI would have made more sense, but I still appreciate the reference.
Okay, fair enough.
But Tom looks like Kane, kind of, is the joke there.
Oh, okay.
You actually did. All right, I see it.
Okay, all right. Well, Tom,
look at you two getting along over here.
No, not gonna laugh.
Look at you two.
Best friends forever.
This is beautiful.
Pretty cute, isn't it?
If I knew my shaved head could bring you guys together, I would have had it around you guys a lot sooner.
Go ahead, Tom.
I even did the DSA thing. Sorry.
Yeah, DSA sucks. Even the chapters are generally fucking nuts. I'm not progressive. I'm liberal, more moderate liberal. I think that a lot of these people are coming in and they have a lot of ideas and a lot of things that people want, and most likely a lot of it will end horribly in burning flames, as it usually does, and then we'll go back to the status quo. But currently I do think that, the more far left factions, I think they are a real threat. I think that they are something that is really likely to take over. I think a lot of people keep playing these games of so what if a large portion of the Democrat Party says that they're in favor of socialism now and they're identifying as democratic socialists? They don't know what socialism means. That's worse. That's literally worse. That's how these rabbit holes generally work, is people get you to identify with a label, but then they're able to use that tribalism to pull you in and keep using more and more policies to say, well, these are socialist policies. And they say, well, socialist policies, I'm in favor of socialism. I'm a socialist. So that's what I like now. And that's how they're able to pile more and more things on. and it doesn't go great generally. I think Mom Donnie's, I don't know how they still have money. I don't know when they're going to run out of money. I don't know what the fuck's going on over there, but I'm waiting to see if it works. I'm hoping for the best for them over there in New York, but I feel like they got to run out of money soon enough. And outside of that, yeah, I think we'll go back to tomfoolery was right all along, and we should start listening to him again.
Okay. All right, I got questions to ask you later on, but let's go to our friend who we have also haven't had for a long time. Our friend Connor. Happy to have you, friend.
Oh,
nice
real quick,
wow.
I do want to add it. I do think we should vote for them though. Still blue, no matter who. Still vote for them.
Okay.
Still vote for him.
Me and Tom are locked together.
Hey, Bam. Consider using your phone if you're still having trouble. I'm not sure if you can hear me, Bam. But if you're consider using your phone, yeah. If you're
it's pretty glitchy.
Yeah. Let's go to our
Gibbs'
friend
best friend. Go ahead.
Yeah. Connor?
Yeah, if it's me, then I think a generational change into the guard is good. We do live in a gerontocracy, which is unfortunate. I do feel like a lot of our systems are stagnant because of the lack of vision of the previous generations. They're happy to live in what they've already built, but they're not thinking about what needs to be built for the next generation. However, I do think that the prevalence of populist and more extremist politics is a bad bellwether for our country. I'm worried that the younger generation are dumb and easily manipulated. And so that's something that I'm very worried about. If the incumbents / moderates / centrists don't actually take governing this country more seriously, then MAGA is definitely going to remain a power broker in the Republican Party long after Trump is dead. And Democratic Socialists will become the American Labor Party. And for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, in Australia and in the United Kingdom, the Labour Party is effectively their far left party. It is filled with social democrats, but also with ardent socialists. And there was a CNN poll stating that 30% of Democrats already identify as democratic socialists, even if they don't know what that word means.
Well, I know what it means, but okay. All right.
Thanks for that, Prime. Helpful as always.
Thanks so much. But yeah, let's go to our friend Riddell.
All right. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, we can.
Unfortunately.
Okay. Hater. When it comes down to this conversation, I do think that there should be a distinction when we're talking about like progressives and the DSA. I do think that's valuable for a conversation because, of course, there's people who's going to putting out progressive policies that is very clearly and staunchly not associated with the DSA and do not believe in socialism. Now, that overlap can mean a lot of things in terms of whether or not this populist message and rhetoric is valuable in the overall discourse, but that distinction is necessary at the same time. Ultimately, I do think the movement and the changing of the guard thing is fine. I'm kind of aligned with some things that were said earlier. As long as you're a good candidate who has policies that I agree with, that's what I care about more so. There is also the understanding why incumbency is valuable. Of course, there you can put the lens that there is something more nefarious to retain power, but also structurally, as was said earlier, it allows people who have the name recognition more likely than not to get voted again, as well as they have not only the connections and the relationships already integrated while they're in, but also if they're working on something, they can continue on the project that they're working on at the same time. There's like purposes and reasons why there's value there. But ultimately, if you're not a good candidate, then you should be brought out. And sometimes people who want the status quo, who refuse to change, are getting in the way of progress. So that conversation is also very necessary. I'm not pro DSA. I think DSA is bad. Obviously, I think they're antithetical to like American values, but of course I think MAGA's worse. They're fascists and I don't want them to win. So at the end of the day, of course I would pick a DSA candidate over them, but I do think a lot of these candidates that are aligned or associated with the DSA need to be starchly questioned about their relationship with the DSA, in particular, whether or not they agree with the underlying principles that DSA agrees or DSA advocates for. So I think that's very important, because if they do believe in that end goal to derode or get rid of all these core functions of what America is, or the American project is, then I do think that should be told for the entire world. And for the most part, even though people do like some of the policies like Medicare for all, people still don't like communists. So that is also something very important to note. That's it.
Okay. All right. Next we go to our friend Ali. Glad to have you.
Yeah. So I think everyone is just tired of the old fucks that are in politics. We see the same people, the same thing, and then when we see from the Democrats or the liberals or the progressives, is that the progressives are just moderates. And so that nothing's getting done, nothing's getting changed. Things are kind of semi status quo. That's what the perception is, which is why all these people are winning, right? This idea that that like these socialist candidates or DSA are only winning in deep blue states, and so that doesn't mean anything. I mean, that's just indicative of like what happens when you are in a left leaning state. You're going to want more left-leaning policies because you're going to be looking towards other people who have these same policies. And if they end up working out, well, then obviously it's going to be encouraged. So you have Mamdani right now, who's, called a communist, a socialist, and an Islamist throughout all of it. But the New Yorkers are happy. The New Yorkers are happy with what they have. They see a mayor that's working for them. They see the benefits of the person that they voted for. And so if they see that happen, well, then maybe the purple states go blue and then even bluer, which is where the progressive wave kind of seems to come from. And I don't think people are stupid or dumb, and I don't think people want communism. I think people understand that they live in America, that we're supposed to be the wealthiest country in the world, the powerhouse of the world. And then they're looking over at European smaller countries who don't make as much money. And they're like, well, these people have free healthcare and free college, and Americans call them socialists and communists, but like, those are the things we want here. And so now we're getting called socialists and communists here. It's not so much that people want to be communists. It's that people just want a lifestyle that they were promised actually fulfilled and given to them by a country that they believe can and has the means to fulfill it. And if it doesn't have the means to fulfill the promises, if America isn't this powerhouse, well, then let's just admit it and go on from there. But like, stop putting on this facade. It's one or the other. We either give us our free shit or not. Thank you.
Give us our feature or not.
Wait. Also, all of these people have earned the vote of their constituents, and the people, the moderate Democrats, did not earn the vote. So it's like we stop wanting them to lose. Stop wanting Mamdani's policy to fail. Stop wanting let it win, because if it works, well, then now you have the blueprint for your for the guys that you're running next. There we go.
I said I'm hoping for the best for him. I said I want him to succeed.
So okay, we have Bam coming in on 2 feeds. I'm not sure. I don't know what's going on, Fred. But
can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I can hear you. Okay, I reset my router. My internet speeds was trash. I hate this internet. It's one of the things. I listen to what I can listen to. Generally, my first opinions are there's people have goals for what they want for the country, and then you have the ideas that you want. Like you have like ideas and principles and gut feelings. When it comes to the concept of those gut feelings and the ideas of what feels good, it would just be like, hey, we don't have parties. We just want everyone to go out and vote for who's best. Who needs a title, who needs anything attached to their name. Vote for the best guy. And if we do that, we'll eventually just get what we want, because democracy means is good inherently. And democracy means that more democracy means that I'll get more of what I want. I think what happened really, really quickly, because the founders didn't intend for the concept of political parties to exist, but what come to be really, really quickly is they understood that actually, you need to, if you want to get things done, it's actually important to coalesce power. Or I don't know, power is like the word used for it, but really it's influence. And how do you coalesce influence? The same way you do anything else, like, hey, let's get together and let's work as a team to get these things done. Those guys don't want what we want, but we all kind of have a general idea of the things that we want to be good. So to do that, we should work together. I've got your back, you've got my back. And that's essentially how we came to get the concept of political parties. Now, with the downsides of this is we do have people who aren't necessarily good at advocating for their people, advocating for their constituents, who continue to win seats over and over. I understand that this is a negative reality that happens, and that's common in a lot of seats in Congress, and in general. But what you don't do is then decide to throw out the baby with the bathwater and pretend that there's no value to incumbency and protecting people who are in positions, who do know how things work, who do know which hands to shake, and who do know how to get so and so on board for things. You can't just always come in and tear things down and break things because it makes you feel good. You actually have to govern. When we look at good examples early on, Mandami has shown to be actually pretty good at governing. It's early on, like I said, there's only so many types of legislation that he's actually passed, but so far so good. We can look at other progressive candidates. Really, when you look at like the Squad, when you look at the AOCs, when you look back at like AOC's gotten a lot better actually, but you look at Cori Bush, Rashida Tlaib, etc. You go down the line. These people look great in the picket line. These people make great, headline statements. But when you look at what legislation can they do, and really not much of anything, because they're not good at governing, because they don't participate in the party. They come and they're always looking to shake things up, and they don't want to be friends. They don't want to shake hands with anybody. Like I said, they just want to tear things down. I'm sure we'll hear more from different people as we go on, but I believe as a institutionalist that our institutions are the only thing that separate us from monkeys and animals and everyone else in the world. Like without our institutions, there would be chaos. I'm not saying these things can't be improved on, but just trying to rip apart everything at the foundation of what it currently sits just because you're not getting what you want is a child's way of thinking. And
okay,
we continue on from there. Also, I'm going to pause this. Can you I'm going to drop out and try to bring my other stream and see if it's more stable now. If not, I'll come back like this.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And can you test? Test. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
That's much better.
Hell yeah. Looking good. Okay. All right. And Ryan, this topic was designed for Bam Bam. He brought up incumbency in our last stream, right? And then him and Gibbs and me kind of got into it at the very end, but we didn't have enough time to really dig into this. So I'm very happy we could focus on this topic today. We'll love to hear what you all have to say.
Yeah, could I start this out by just making I really want to do this. Can we fucking stop with the small bean? We're us at the DSA. All we want is free healthcare. Every fucking Democrat, find a Democrat who doesn't want free healthcare. Like genuinely.
So then,
yes, I can find one. Easily,
find one.
Sure, Obama.
Obama doesn't want free healthcare. What are we talking about?
No. Yes. Actually, you're saying free healthcare. He had a chance to design his healthcare system. All he did was replicate. He made a Republican.
He couldn't even pass what he had.
And sorry, I won't let you rewrite history. Immediately, you start with this bullshit. Immediately, Hunter. Right? I won't let you rewrite history because I fucking remember what happened.
Oh, really?
And I studied
really?
What
Do you remember?
How long
couldn't even pass the public
We have some foreplay first before we just start.
No, we're already fucking.
No, we're going right in, bro. We're going right in.
70 day.
You want the fight? You get the fight.
No, hold on.
Slightly above,
I'm not
and
going
we
to
had
let you rewrite
multiple-
history. It's not going to happen in front of me.
Okay.
I'm not going to let you gaslight me.
How about this?
I'm not
How
going to.
about
No, hold on. No,
this?
not.
You know what?
Gaslight,
I don't
brother.
fucking care.
I'm going
I'll
to state my
concede.
point.
I don't fucking care.
Excuse me. I'm going to state my point because I'm going to talk about the policy. Excuse me. Right? Because Obama came in.
I'm going to concede all this and ignore it also.
Shut up. Obama came in on a wave of energy, specifically on healthcare, specifically either for a Medicare for all, right, or if not a
fucking Affordable Care Act or something like that.
No. A government option.
Public option.
So public option. Excuse me. Thank you. A public option, right? That's the energy that he came on, right? And he was happy to make people think that's what he wanted. But immediately he sabotages the entire effort. Immediately, I'm not sure if this is what we can get. Immediately, he puts in Rahm Emanuel, finally remembered his name, Rahm Emanuel as his chief of staff. He puts him in charge of the effort for Obamacare, whatever that's going to be, right? Okay. Rahm Emanuel, who took a ton of money from the medical industry. Rahm Emanuel, who have dilute the legislation, and again, and the thing that they come out
I'm ignoring all of this, by the way,
is a Republican plan, a Heritage Foundation plan, right? A Romney Care. This is what they get. So you're telling me, that's what they wanted. They specifically ignored all that. They specifically watered it down continuously for that lobby. So don't bullshit me.
I don't care. I don't
care if you care.
So let me rechange.
I don't care. I don't care what you
say. So noted for the record.
I am going to make sure the actual history is stated.
Cool.
What you just said was a lie.
Let's ignore.
I know Hunter's point. I know what your point was. Hunter.
Bam said something though.
That the DSA is coming in all woo, and they're like, "Oh, we just want free healthcare and we just want free college," but really they want this communist utopia because I've seen the website.
No, not communist utopia.
I've read the website. I've seen the website.
I mean, to Bam's point though, what he wanted when he passed.
I've seen the website.
Those two things.
Yeah, I understand. I understand people say these things. I understand people say these things because they're trying to get the, they got to get the people going, right? It's what gets the people going. You ramp it up in the beginning when you're kind of just coming up, but like really, then when you're asking, well, how are you going to do it? Well, you can't really abolish the police, right?
I agree.
You can't really just vote. You can't vote one guy in and then all of a sudden you get communism, right? There are things that happen, right? And I think everyone understands that. So they understand that it's like there's this shoot for the moon policy where we're going to go with this extreme rhetoric because we've noticed extreme rhetoric seems to work. Right. This is what amps people up. And then realistically, you shoot for the moon, shoot for the stars, you get land on the moon.
So you're saying Mamdani's aid was like, let's impoverish white people.
There are ambitions,
and that was the moon. And they're just settling for healthcare.
But also people understand that like realistically, you're not going to get you don't have to go to work today.
I have a question for you. Name a single Democrat who's currently in power who is not on the record in favor of a public option or single payer healthcare.
None, but like, okay, so why?
What are we talking about?
Oh my God, why don't we have it?
Why don't we have it?
There's never been a position.
The margins in the fucking Senate and the House. Are you fucking for real? We lost. We lost the
We literally haven't had the ability to do it.
We don't have.
We've never had the ability. Wait. We've never had a trifecta.
I'm just finding out all Democrats are socialists.
We've never had a fucking.
Yeah, this is crazy.
The best way to let the Dems lose is let them talk.
You need a certain majority.
Even when we had
socialist and socialist.
So what you're telling me is that you guys can't get it done. What I'm hearing is you can't get it done.
Ali, hold on.
Ali,
no. Ali, hold on. Wait.
You're the king.
Hold on.
The Nazis also had universal health.
Real quick.
I'm the thing destroying the party.
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
This isn't
hold on.
order.
The thing that we're talking
and no unemployment.
Throughout Biden's administration, they wanted to do this, but they couldn't because of people like Cinema in Manchin, right? That you can get like a bunch of really fucking progressive people in there, but if we end up getting like 49 the most progressive fucking candidates you've ever seen, they're all fucking anarcho-communists in the Senate, but there's 49 of them. It still doesn't do anything, right?
But you know what the issue is? You know what the issue is right now? Right now, all the progressives that want to get in that would be able to take over the seat, well, they have to fight with all the liberals and moderates who are like, no, you guys are communists. We don't want this. So that's what happens. Is the progressive is the leftists go up, right? And then they go, all right, cool. So we're gonna do this, and you guys shit on them for fucking ever throughout the whole primaries, throughout the whole primary, Al-Sayed was literally called a fucking Islamist
Hold on, Ollie, we can't even say his full name.
Everyone's getting a fucking Islamist.
Ollie, they put out a statement saying it was racist to say his full name. Just saying.
Not you. Okay. Oh my God. Not you specifically. Don't turn this into. Don't act like we don't know what the rhetoric is online about him, right? Don't act like we don't know what the rhetoric is online about the guy, or what the rhetoric against Mamdani is, what the rhetoric against I don't know whatever Hong is when they're like, oh, you want to get rid of Thanksgiving? It's like she's not going to get rid of Thanksgiving.
Hold on.
No, yeah. Why is she saying it though?
No,
there's a bunch of saying it.
There's a bunch of
because that's what she believes. That's a view she has. Do you want her to lie?
She does want to get rid of
Why would she say something?
Because she doesn't like Thanksgiving. Is there an issue with candidates expressing their actual beliefs, or are you guys just going to hold them over the coals because it's a stupid belief?
No, you know what? Actually, Ollie, I like that. They should tell us their real beliefs. That is the best way to do things.
Hold on. Here's my issue with this.
All right, go ahead.
Obviously,
it's like Grand Platinum.
Obviously, I fucking want politicians to speak their mind about what they want about specific policies. Why is it bad for me to go, hey, you know what? I don't know if you have the strength to move this up in the governorship, but I don't like that you have that. I don't like that you have these beliefs about how you think the country should be run. It seems incompatible.
But it's okay.
With me.
Trump didn't advocate for fascism. Trump never said let's do fascism.
He's
so
it's
okay, guys.
And honestly, when you think about it, he didn't even really ban Muslims from the country. So why was it really that bad?
Yeah, he never really.
Wait, who really cares if he's
okay? So you guys are telling me that presidents can do the things that they want for the people that they want, even if it's when it's a Republican. But like when the Democrats, we can't pass certain things.
I get that you're going through your talking points. That's not.
It's not a talking point. It's a fucking question. You don't have an answer, so you call it a talking point.
Ollie, we didn't say that.
But right now you're throwing what Trump. But right now what you're doing is you're throwing what Trump has done in my face through executive order. It's not like Trump did fascism. It's not like Trump did the executive order to ban Muslims. All right, cool. So just do your executive orders to get our healthcare.
No. We're saying he did do fascism. We're saying that like a lot of times he expresses really harmful and fucked up beliefs, and the rest of us look at him and think, there's some like problems with this guy's moral compass, or he's very different from me. He doesn't actually represent.
And then the rest of people vote for him. So
yes, and that's bad.
Oh my God! But that's the issue. We are in an extreme version of that. Where extreme rhetoric is what is.
Ollie, here,
wait, but then when we get mad at people, Ollie, when we get mad at people. Yeah. No. When we get mad at people for voting for Trump, if they turned around and did this whole like, but you can't actually get this shit done, it doesn't really matter. He can't have a fascist government overall. We would tell them to shut the fuck up.
Nobody kind of does get shit done. That's what they say all the time. He does exactly what we want.
Abolish the push.
Lachlan and Gibbs, are you guys annoyed?
Stupid argument. It's a fucking stupid argument.
Arguing on like 20 axes at once.
I'm annoyed, but I think it was probably for a different reason than you might think.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really enjoying y'all showing how socialist y'all are.
We are kind of going like.
Okay, so I'm going to go to. So I'm going to go to Bam. I'm going to go Lactoid and then Connor. All right. Okay. And Gibbs, please.
I'm coming in after that.
Bam.
So.
Okay, so Bam, did you hear me? You go first.
Okay. Yeah. So. There's obviously going to be a lot of talk relating to the Democrats, but I just want to like bring in structurally, like this is a principle thing. I think the Republican Party is also faltering from like when you say they're like, oh, they did the Tea Party stuff. I think that's actually a big issue with the Republican Party right now, that it's just a bunch of dudes with no principle, no background who like leaned into this level of populism, and now they're there and they say things and like they're completely incompetent. I don't want Republicans to win in my country like ever, but I do want to have I would love for the Republicans to be competent if they were the like alternative in any seat, because there's going to be places in the country that do go red. And I think we're seeing like, I'm not even long term, but we're seeing like 10 years further out of what leaning into this hyper populist, let's just primary everybody who, isn't like radical and fun looks like. And I don't like what it looks like for them, and I don't think it would look better in blue. The next one I wanted to say is that it's okay to advocate for things. I think there's people who are governing well, like primarying on certain levels, but the issue is whenever all of your primary of incumbency, whenever everything you're doing is only attacking the party that you're most similar to, that we can't coexist like that, especially when the alternative is that party is expected to be like always open armed and welcoming to you at every case. Like why should Democrats accept the way that not even really progressives again, just like the DSA commie types come into the party, because again they don't come into the party to make it better. They don't come into the party to work with the people in Washington. I mean, they say verbatim that I'm here to like wreck shit. I'm here to tear it down. I'm here to shake things up. Like, and whenever they actually, the ones that do become decent at politics end up being less hated. Like I think the AAC's grown so much as a politician with her with gaining experience being in Washington, and I think her popularity's only dropped. Like she's increased with like normies, but she's dropped with like DSA types because she's not like a praxis leftist.
Because she moderated.
Let's go.
Wait, can I respond to just that part real quick and like why they should be? Because the idea is,
I do want to get to like,
go ahead. The idea is that like the left or the DSA just want to accelerate get to what like the Democrats say they want to get to already. So like if the Democrats say they want free healthcare and they want free college, so on and so forth, well, the leftists only feel like they just want to accelerate to that. That's why you should accept them, because if that, it seems to be the same goal.
Then go win a red seat. That like get us closer to 60 senators. Get us to like, don't just keep taking the same seats. That doesn't get us any closer.
But they're only going to win in like deep blue. Okay, so like because the state is already blue, because the seats are already blue, that means the constituents, the people, the voters are clearly leaning more blue, right? Because they already have like their Democrat majority in their town or their state or whatever the fuck it may be. So now they're saying, well, since we have this, we want more. So which is why New Yorkers voted for for Mamdani, because they're like, well, we already have all the left, right? This is already a left-leaning city, so on and so forth. Well, all right, cool. Maybe this guy who wants more things done will get them done because we're voting for him. He has the support.
I'm super fine with it on a local level. You can go. Yeah.
Let's go to our friend Lactoid.
Yeah. So I'm. As I would assume would happen, there's a lot of comparisons here between, well, we got these literal self-avowed Marxists and literal self-avowed socialists running within the Democrats. Well, we still got to vote for them, though.
I don't know if any of them are self-avowed Marxists.
I think some of them are. I will double check that for you. Okay. For sure, they're socialist. I am pretty sure
probably is.
I'm pretty sure there are some of them that are Marxist.
Yeah, Democratic socialists are generally not.
Like Hong, for example, who's 22% ahead of like all.
She's
of the
most likely for sure.
Sure, I'll fact check
presume,
in a second.
But an outright statement is I'm unsure about that.
Sure. If I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure like more than one has identified as a Marxist or identified with Marx in some way, at least historically. I will fact check myself on that. If that's not true, they're self-avowed socialists, right? Which I think is terrible. And so when you compare this to MAGA, when you compare this to Trump, personally, I think that these two situations are just not comparable. I think it's crazy to call Trump a fascist. But at the very least, there's not this open acceptance of fascism that there simply is amongst socialism within the Democrats, right? Neither myself nor Gibbs would vote for a fascist. I don't even Gibbs, and Gibbs is further right than me. He would not vote for a fascist. If Trump were to come out and say, "Yeah, I'm a fascist," no, like fascist pride. No, of course not. If a third of Republicans.
I don't want to cut you off. Is there like ever a self-claimed fascist? Like, is that how the term's ever been?
That'd be like Mussolini. I could think of
other than Mussolini. Yeah,
no.
Mussolini, Franco, of course.
Hold on, Steven Crowder just recently did a video called "Why Fascism Is Based."
Well, that's Steven Crowder.
Yeah, so they're getting there.
Did Steven Crowder identify as a fascist, or is it some kind of comedic video? Some sort of
no, he was serious. He was super serious.
Matt Walsh does identify as like I forget what it's called.
Theocratic fascism.
Yeah, what's the light version of fascism? So like communism, it has socialism. What's the light version of fascism?
No, he 1,000%. I watched the video.
Matt Walsh identifies as a theocratic fascist.
I don't know about Matt Walsh. I'm talking about
check his fucking Twitter. Hold on,
he identifies.
Yes,
Yeah.
Matt Walsh identifies as a
crazy? What's
theocratic
his Twitter?
fascist. Yes.
Yeah, in his Twitter thing, he has some Christian.
Am I misremembering? I could be
Christian.
misremembering.
Hold on, bro. Y'all are getting trolled. It took 2 seconds to look it up, and it says this is a running joke to troll lefties on like literally.
Matt Walsh's bio says
Okay, hold on. I'm looking up right here. So the origin of the label, Walsh put theocratic fascist in his Twitter bio after a critic used it as an insult, adopting it as a tongue-in-cheek response. This is not the same thing. Again,
Well,
this is not. This is not. Stop. This is not. Stop. This is not. This is not the same thing. If Joe Biden put like Marxist communist in his Twitter bio after like Trump called him that, well then yeah, I wouldn't consider Biden to be actually an avowed Marxist communist. Because he's obviously doing some kind of even if Joe Biden did that, because this is some this is some tongue-in-cheek response to an insult that's made against him. Obviously,
this is how
in
far
this case we do not have.
The other thing is like
the president can just put
Marxist
in his profile. Like a fascist, and then you jokingly call yourself a fascist. I don't know.
So far, one of the thing with so far the thing with Matt Walsh, complete BS. I'll look into the thing with Crowder in a second. No, you cannot in a second.
The Crowder thing is BS.
The thing with Crowder, I don't know. I haven't looked into that. If that's true, if you have Steven Crowder identifying as a fascist, actually, I would not vote for him. I do not think anybody should vote for him. And if 33% of Republicans identified as fascists, according to some CNN poll, that would be a major problem.
You'd vote.
Right? I would consider this to be a major problem. This is what's happening with you people. A third of your party is identifying with actual socialists. This is the comparison. This is the analog.
Democratic
and you have people who are sorry. New York City is no big deal. That's a city with a population larger than 9 states. This is the largest city in America. And you have in my state the front runner for the Democratic primary is a lunatic, Francesca Hong.
Hell yeah.
I mean, look, I'm sorry. It seems like you guys seem to acknowledge this, and you're like, yeah, it's terrible. They're just acknowledging this label now. They're just rolling with it. Mamdami's picking people who are, outright saying, but their goal is to impoverish, middle-class white people. Hong is on record opposing every single major U.S. holiday because it's racist for some reason, except for Kwanzaa, of course, the most legitimate of all holidays. These people are insane. And it seems, but then of course it just goes back to but MAGA's worse, blue no matter who. Are they? At what point does that stop? Do you have any kind of metric here? And what has Tom Tiffany done that's worse than what Francesca Hong will do?
I care less about. Don't get me wrong. It matters what you identify, what label you attach to yourself.
Thing.
But
he did the same thing I did last night, where he talked about the rise of fascism being left wing in its origins. That's exactly
he didn't. No, I can.
I'm looking at the transcript right now, and he says that a bunch.
Hold on. Gibbs just lied there. Let me read the fucking.
I can read this off the fucking transcript.
Do that at a different time. Not right now.
Don't do
not right now. A black man is speaking. Go ahead, Bam.
You don't have to do that right now.
This
is not important.
Hold on. Sorry, you can read Hunter. You can read the summary quickly, but I want to go to Connor.
The left loves to scream fascism anytime action is taken to stop Marxism from destroying a country, but the history tells a very different story. From Pinochet's Chile to Franco's Spain, from Brazil's 1964 coup to Bolivia's Hugo Banzer, each so-called fascist takeover followed the same pattern: a far-left government wrecking the economy through nationalism, price controls, and radical policy. So someone stepped in to clean up the mess. That's what he's referring to about Pinochet.
He's talking. That's exactly what the fascists did. That's what the Nazis did. They did a far left government. They stepped in. They did a bunch of price controls. They ran. No, I'm not misunderstanding. This is I think the in-depth.
I don't think Pinochet.
Well, you're admitting that you're.
No, he's saying that fascists needed to step in to stop the.
That's not what happened. I'll wait.
Wait, hold on.
He's saying like, the military
Pinochet's fucking crazy, Lactoid.
Like we need.
No. Franco, yes, not Pinochet.
Yeah.
Pinochet, look. Oh, the fascist who's ultra free market globalist Pinochet.
Yeah. He doesn't mind.
Almost all fascists are free market. What are you talking about?
What? Autarky's not a major pillar of fascism? You think Germany or Italy or Spain, any of these countries were pro-free trade, pro-globalism? You think so?
Yes. I think that they leaned towards free market most of the time.
No.
Yes, for sure.
No. This is absolutely incorrect.
They-
It'll take time to go through
I
each
don't
example
wanna-
here, but this is
We're
not
for this
true.
revisionist
I-
history.
I don't know enough
conversation.
about
That's
the
how you get
subject.
off.
Let's go
Yeah,
to our
counterpoint.
friend Counterpoint. So I'm curious. I'm very curious what you have to say, Connor. Please.
Yeah, everyone's going to agree with me instantaneously, and it'll resolve all the disputes. It'll be great. So, fascism is political corporatism and flexible authoritarianism, identifying the nation state as a single unitary, analogous to a single biological organism, and then trying to advocate for the corporative health. Flexible authoritarianism basically means that you don't care about how you gain power; you only care that you do gain and retain power. That's why Mussolini still had to share power with the church and the king. That's why Hitler had to go through the representative system in order to become the supreme leader of Germany. That's why he still had to share power with oligarchs even after he seized power. And I'm not going to agree that Nazi Germany was laissez-faire capitalist, considering while they weren't socialist in that they wanted to decommodify basic needs and have workers on the means of production, they basically did have extreme command control of the economy. So no, they are not like anarcho-capitalists. They're not authoritarian anarcho-capitalists. So, but the point that I wanted to make, because I think the leftists are horrible at defending themselves.
Nazi Germany was for a 6-year period. They had literal policies that were for 6-year period, only for the war, to gain supplies for the war. That's what it was.
Okay.
I'm also really good at defending myself.
What I will point out to you is that political corporatism, people will oftentimes look this up and they'll look up like corporatocracy, which is like a government run by the corporations. That's not what's meant in a fascist sense. Core means body. They're talking about basically if a fascist is deregulating something, it's because they're at least arguing that it's good for the political corporative body of the nation state. If they're heavily regulating something, they're regulating it because they're arguing it's good for the political corporative state. They're going to make that argument every single time. I don't know why Lactoid is looking confused by it, but I wanted to help out.
I want to push back against it. Yes. That's why.
I'm great at
I just want to ask a clarifying question. Does this mean that, like, let's say I was to institute free market, laissez-faire capitalism, free speech, gay rights, legalize drugs, and reduce crime, all because I argued that it was good for the political corporate entity that is the country, that would make me a fascist?
If you took over through military
no, because the thing that you're missing is flexible authoritarianism. It's political corporatism, which, by the way, I'm a political corporatist, and flexible authoritarianism, basically meaning that you will do whatever is necessary to seize and maintain power. And also, there's like this philosophy here between the individual and the collective, where fascists actually don't believe that you ever resolve the conflict between the individual and the collective. It is actually up to the individual to climb up the social hierarchy of the collective and subordinate it to their will.
So, okay,
it's actually like Sith philosophy.
I'll change my question very slightly then. So let's say I seize power. For whatever means, I seize it, and then like I establish some kind of system into which like my power, I'm heavily biased in favor of remaining in power in some kind of unfair way, and then I implement free speech, gay rights, drug legalization, free market capitalism, blah blah blah, every sort of kind of globo homo gay stuff you can think of, right? In a good way, Twitch. And I do all that, and then you're saying that that's still fascism.
Yeah,
if you actually believe that it was for the political corporative good, I would argue that it's still fascism. And by the way, there are benevolent dictators. Like I know that we all just like to think that every dictator is Adolf Hitler, but Tito out of the former Yugoslavia and Augusto Pinochet out of Chile. You can say what you want about Augusto Pinochet, and particularly as a leftist who hates fucking right-wing authoritarian governments, he killed less than 8,000 people over the course of his reign in his politicide. His politicides were like infinitely smaller than a shitload of other politicides.
Less. It was a kinder, gentler politicide. Oh, wonderful.
I know we're joking, but yeah, like Indonesia had a million-person
killing 8,000
politicide.
Yeah, that's actually a huge problem. But anyway, so
Indonesia and Cambodia and China all had
they killed
way
a
worse
fuck ton more.
politicides.
Oh yeah, I know that. Yeah, that doesn't mean that. Oh, he killed less. He's a smaller mass murderer, right?
Well, they were communists. So what are you gonna do?
Literally what it means.
I wanted to help out the leftists real quick because they're really bad at making their own arguments.
Fuck you.
But I agree with that, but I don't agree with their definition.
I'm great.
But I agree with their bad.
You're
I agree with their bad. I'm
okay,
they're terrible.
Go ahead.
So What I would say is that, like, where I love the panic. I wish we had McCarthy 2.0. I wish we could persecute all the communists and the socialists again. However, I think that's not in keeping with American liberal tradition. Okay. I don't think that that's what our country is all about or should be about. Okay. What I would argue that the lefties should be arguing is that there are extreme economic issues going on in this country. The populist economic wave that's hitting this country is genuine and sincere, that the leftists of this country are trying to represent that genuine, emergent issue. And then not just that, but if you look at the United Kingdom and Australia, they haven't had Maoist takeovers of the country. The socialists had to share power with the social democrats, who had to share power with the fucking progressives, who had to share power with the liberals in order to build coalition governments that then instituted technocratic policy that is in line with the lefty worldview. So the panic about a Maoist takeover is alarmism based off of observation of the United Kingdom and Australia.
I just looked it up. There's multiple
I said
elected
all of
members
that.
identify as Marxists, just to be clear.
Yeah, but you were like yelling and shit.
You had
so
to,
I
you had,
didn't
no,
listen.
no. You just had time to clean it up. I was arguing with people while I was doing my speak. So like this whole let me defend lefties better. Nope.
Well, yeah, but like
I
some
did it
girl
just
was
fine.
texting me naughty pictures, so I had to. I was distracted. So
score for you.
Wait, but hold on, wait. The DSA candidates were avowed Marxists.
Yeah, multiple DSA candidates are about Marxists.
Like
and I think that the head.
Well, can I come back in real quick?
Yeah, I
I'm
can
saying
give you.
sweeping for the Marxist
the head
does
of the
stuff
platform
ass too.
is different from
Like
the
the progressives
No, I
and the
know.
lefties should stop.
But here's the
speaking
thing,
for
Connor. They're right. So that's the issue.
Yeah.
Wait. So you
let's
think
go
that they're
to-
right that the
oh, no.
decommodification of basic human needs and workers owning the means of production is the next material step forward for humanity?
I think what the actual thing is like, yeah, if we actually have a world where we reach like the oneness or whatever the fuck it is, and people just get to like live their world and we just have robots doing the work, like that would obviously be a utopia. That's a great goal, so on and so forth. Ha ha ha. But in getting to that, because every time I've ever heard any of these people speak, they always say, yeah, communism doesn't happen for like thousands of years. It happens, it doesn't happen. Like in getting to that, well, yeah, like the free college and the free healthcare would be nice.
Yeah, but this is what pisses me off about this, particularly is the revision when it comes to the 20th century socialist regimes, because they use the decommodification of basic human needs and workers owning the means of production in order to justify
Stop treating
their
the workers like
authoritarianism.
shit. Stop having workers
Guys,
feel like they
that's
can't
why-
afford anything,
that's
so then
why
they won't want
liberals
that.
do.
They
I don't
want
know,
on the means of production.
Connor, I don't know where you got the authoritarianism. At least like not from what
I got it from
said,
Hassan Piker, a populist leftist YouTuber.
Jesus
We're
Christ,
not-
you guys are so
none
obsessed
of
with
us
Hassan,
here-
bro.
None of us here are
Because
Hassan.
he
None of
sweeps
us
for
here are
tankies,
Hassan,
Ali,
right?
bro.
You stop
I am
talking about him, he stops existing.
Yes, I
No,
exactly.
he-
Thank you.
literally.
Yeah.
Literally.
Well, no,
I-
He only
representative.
exists because you guys have this hate boner for him and
Hold
repost
on, stop.
everything he does.
Like
That's literally what happened.
Sorry.
I'm trying to
Neither
listen to
I
Prime.
or Ali is no, Gibbs. I haven't forgotten about you. I will. You're on the list, friend. So neither I or Ali are Hassan, right? So we won't answer for any of Hassan's nonsense, right? But to answer your question directly, Connor, you said, and if I get it wrong, I do apologize, right? That you asked, do you think that a decommodification of human needs and the workers owning the rights of production is the next step in evolution of our economy? Yeah, I think, that is. We should be decommodifying human core needs, right? Like housing, like food. Actually, that'd be
So
great.
that's what you would run on. That's the
mean...
next thing we do next week. That's what we.
No. So that's not.
I don't even fucking care.
You just said it.
Hold on.
Hold
on. One second.
Next step doesn't mean immediate.
1 second. Yeah, sorry.
There's a better
That's fair. No, that's fair. I'll accept the criticism. I wasn't putting that as like, hey, that should be within Mom Donnie's like plank, right? I wasn't saying that, right? But I do agree that that's what we should be working for. Absolutely, I am committed to that. Actually, yes, I'm not hiding my power level whatsoever on this. So yeah, I don't think that there can't be like an individual owning their own private business, but we should give the opportunities for workers to own their own the means of production, right? Let's say if an owner was going to sell their business, a policy that says, hey, well, you have to give the workers an opportunity first to be able to buy your business at a fair price, right? that seems pretty workable. Then you could do that. You're not forcing it. You're not like seizing the means, right? You're giving people to buy it at a fair market price. Yeah, that actually seems pretty okay.
Prime, do
right?
you think that worker co-ops are banned in this country?
No, I don't think they're banned.
No, it's just Amazon's allowed to have slaves.
Sorry, Hunter, I don't think they're banned, right? The policy that I put forward, right, only helps assist more of them to come through. I never said they were banned, right? So I didn't imply that. So you don't have to ask that. Yeah, so I want more of them. I didn't say that they were banned. Thank you.
We're just against Amazon paying essentially slave labor compared to what they make. You know, it's
damn! Why don't fucking institute some minimum wages?
Yeah, minimum wage. You get minimum wage. We'll get that done in 10, 15 years. Minimum wage.
What the fuck are we talking about?
I want a beautiful, sexy redhead to talk next. Okay?
Yeah, all right. I asked y'all for quick patience. I'm going to read 3 quotes from 3 important people. All right. So first one's from the German economy, 1870-1940. This is from Gustav Stolper.
Does anyone care about this?
I do, bitch.
I do.
I let you talk for the last 20 minutes. I'm talking now.
I just got
I'm going to read 3 quotes, and you're going to like it, all right? The first angle was moral principle. The second was financial system. The third, the issue of ownership. The moral principle was the commonwealth before self-interest. The financial promise was the breaking of the bondage of interest slavery. The industrial program was nationalization of all big incorporated business trust. By accepting the principle of the commonwealth before self-interest, National Socialism simply emphasizes its antagonism to the spirit of a competitive society as represented supposedly by democratic capitalism. But to the Nazis, this principle means also complete subordination of the individual to the exigencies of the state. And in this sense, National Socialism is unquestionably a socialist system. All right, one more. Here we go. Actually, 2 more. I'm so sorry.
That's not socialism.
Oh, it is socialism. The socialism of the entire, this is from the same book, the socialism of the entire German productive machinery, both agriculture and industrial, was achieved by methods other than expropriation. To a much larger extent,
wait, what is
on an immeasurable...
Let
me done. I got one more quote after this.
I want to know what he's
No, let him finish, and then we can talk about it.
All right, most convincing scale the authors of the party in 1920 probably ever imagined. In fact, not only big trusts were gradually or rapidly subjected to government control in Germany, but so was every sort of economic activity, leaving not much more than title private ownership. And then one last quote. In 1939, the book The Vampire Economy, Doing Business Under Fascism, Gunter Reitman, who was a communist, and fled, while most of the means of production had not been nationalized, they had nevertheless been politicized and collectivized under an intricate web of Nazi planning target, prices and wage regulations, production rules and quotas, and strict limits and restraints on the action and decisions of those who remain. Not only the owners of private enterprises throughout the country, every German businessman knew his conduct was prescribed and positioned within the wider planning goals of the Nazi regime. The historical record is clear. European fascism was simply a different shade of socialism. Now, I don't think that applies now quite so much with fascism. There are different forms of fascism, but 1930s, 1940s fascism is much more left-wing than what we're talking about today. Now, this is why I also say that the Nazis were socialists. And when I turn around today and see what the DSA is proposing, and I see what the liberals are going along with, this is just the continuation of these policies. Now, I just want 2 other quotes. Those people right there, one's an award-winning economic historian, the other's a Nobel Prize-winning economist. So if you're not arguing with me, you're arguing with qualified people above all of our pay grade, and they're both saying this, and they both fled Nazi Germany. So how do you think y'all know more than me or anybody here when you're going to say that the DSA isn't socialist when they're pushing the same sort of policies nationwide?
Well, they do think it's socialist.
You think historians don't
hold on. What are they calling socialism?
They're calling the National Socialist Government socialist.
Yes, I understand. I'm saying
and Mussolini.
You read a bunch of things that they say this is what makes it socialist, but none of those things sound like socialism to me. So
I'm sorry that you're not educated on what socialism actually is, and this is why y'all get invaded.
I'm asking you to answer the fucking question.
Sure, the argument would be that I hear the lefties make all the time is Hitler allowed private organization companies to exist. Well, that's not really what happened. Is they would do something what they call the Führer system, and you would have to go to a manager. So you basically only had private industry in name only because everything was like subordinate to the overall German government to decide. If you didn't want to do the quotas for the thing, everything. If you didn't have a job, guess what? They gave you a job, right? They made you do something. So my point is, when you look at the DSA, they're sitting here arguing these same policies, right? They're even going further. They don't even want these corporations to exist. They want to just absorb them completely. These people just had socialism, just de facto socialism because, hey, we're not actually socialists. We allowed the company to exist and then made it so the company couldn't exist exist unless they did everything the government allowed them to do. That's socialism. Like that's in and of itself by every metric socialist. And that's why when y'all are sitting here talking about Steven Crowder, you're misinformed because Crowder said the same thing. If you read through his transcript, he talks about how they implemented these policies and then that empowered them. This is the necessary outcome of socialism is you get these dictators that are in charge and push these socialist policies.
It's a bad thumbnail though. But yeah.
It's not the thumbnail. That's not what the video's about.
But read the thumbnail. I put it in the Grok and had to do a summarize in the transcript. It's easy.
Hold on, wait. Don't just watch the video. That's not what the video about.
No, just read the transcript. It's the same thing.
No,
well, everything
he just said about Germany.
Everything I said is true.
I don't care about Germany. We're talking about
he said.
Political parties.
I mean, you're arguing with economic historians.
That's not the conversation that we agreed to.
Let's go. Let's let Tom finish.
No, it's not. This conversation not about is socialism good or bad.
Yeah. After that, I do want to focus on.
Well, sure. And the reason I bring this up in regards to the Congress.
Well, it's kind of that, right?
Yeah, is you're advocating right now.
What it is. It's not socialism.
Well, because we're talking about whether the new candidates are good or bad, and they're socialists that are winning. So it's kind of about that.
Also, what really helps.
That embeds on the conversation.
Okay, here's what's going to happen. Right? I'm gonna. So
just let me finish. I got 10 seconds. I'll be done.
Stalin Kai's laying down the law.
Yeah, I'll be done for a while.
Tom wants to say something in response, and I want to give Bam a chance to jump in. Then go to Ali.
Sure, and
just let me know.
Just so here's the final closing thoughts on this. Really. If we look at this, Republicans are mostly on the 80-20 side. We look right now, we're seeing this push for the socialists in the left-wing party. However, when you look at independents, they're overwhelmingly against all the social stuff. It's polling like 18%. You're seeing like the Dems right now, the libs are losing. They're struggling overall. And guess what? The Republicans are putting out 76 to 72% approval rating within their own party. So I got to say, if y'all think they're going to be doing good at midterms, I hope y'all keep pushing these socialists because it's going to be great for the Republicans.
This is why people end up saying that.
Let's get Tom. Tom wanted to jump in, then I'll go to you, Bam.
Tom's going to talk about what socialism is. That's not the topic, Prime.
But hold on.
Later in the topic, that's fine.
I'll bring it back. I don't want to talk
about. Yes, I'm going to explain. So the reason that it matters is because we're talking about whether or not the people who are primarying incumbents right now are actually good candidates. We're talking about whether or not they are worth it. In this movement from these people taking out the incumbents are actually a good part of the Democratic Party. And when he's saying that these are people who are similar to Nazis and what it is that Hitler was doing, he is just objectively incorrect because the Nazi Germany had a very similar economy to the United States currently with a mixed economy, and about 30% of it was like a socialized economy. It was almost exactly the same. He just said that they had to answer to the fucking government. They didn't. That you could create new businesses. By far the majority of the businesses did not have to answer to the fucking government, but they were heavily regulated while there was wartime because they needed shit for war. That's just very, very different from socialism where it's going to happen all the time one way or the other.
Let's go to our friend Bam, and then we'll go to Ali and Riddell.
Bringing it back to what we actually came here to talk about, it's about does anyone disagree with what political parties with how political parties work? Do we think that oh yeah, these things make everything worse, or do you think there's any inherent value to people being a part of a party that can generate large amounts of funding, that can coalesce around each other, that can defend each other, and that can vote in tandem for broader, bigger things across the country? Do we think that's a good concept?
Yeah, as a
or
caucus,
do we feel like there's an issue with that?
Yeah. I think there's room for caucuses in parties. I would weaken the party system in itself, but at least having caucuses where people could come together and do it. I don't necessarily endorse the parties as they stand.
But I parliament system.
I think understand what the point you're saying is that we should have blocks, right, that come together and get things done, right? You have agreement, work together to make that into policy. So
you can't, but I don't think you can do that. I don't and somebody else can jump in because I want people to talk about this. I don't think you can do that if it's hey, we're coming together to work together, shake hands, we're gonna build around you, and the moment it becomes election season, that person's a Nazi, a socialist, a communist, racist. We need to get them out of power, and we need to get this 22-year-old in here because they're that's who I'm endorsing. I don't think that can function. I don't think the idea of primary.
Bam, I'm a little bit confused. Could you elaborate more? Yeah, who's the 22-year-old in this situation?
I don't know anyone. I'm just saying that, like, I'm saying that, like, you're removing your veteran, seasoned members of your party, of your caucus, the people that you've like coalesced around and that you fundraised with, and like immediately come election season, you like stab them in the back and decided, like, actually, I want someone else in your position. Like,
Are you talking about the voters, or are you talking about?
Yeah, who's doing the stabbing?
The voters are stabbing the.
Who's the specific incumbent?
Well, voters
are
going to vote for whoever, but I'm talking about like the idea of like
you can't endorse it like someone endorsing
members of the party, like throwing endorsement, like, or not endorsing for primaries, or not like supporting incumbents. Like, we think, because a lot of this comes to, like, we think it's bad that like party members support incumbents. Like, why are they doing that? They should just stay out of it and let the, what you call it in. But like, that's what parties should do.
So Bernie Sanders isn't, like, at least
he's not a Democrat.
Independent. Yeah, he's not a Democrat. But let's just pretend that he was for a second, right? And then he says, like, I'm going to endorse a challenger to an incumbent. You're saying that's a bad thing inherently, right? Like,
not inherently. That's depends on the candidate.
Sorry, I don't want to load your words, right? But it's bad, right? That, like, for the functioning of the party, for the institution, right? And then for the betterment of the government in general, right? Mm-hmm. That we should instead not protect at the very least, but not like attack incumbents. Is that what you're saying?
No, yeah. If you're someone who is a member of a party, like who is a member of a caucus, and you decided, like, these are the people I work with, I think you can draw some hard lines in the sand of, like, better things that you want. But like, if we're like incumbent people who are voting on legislation that I propose like 90% of the time, or 90, like, I don't think that that's workable. I think that, like, Fetterman, like advocating against Fetterman makes sense, because primary Fetterman's made sense. Like, he's like, oh, okay, he's not really working with the party.
So you just liked it, whatever the people you like.
I'm confused as to your position, Bam.
Let
me clarify here. Are you saying that, like, because this was asked to you, but maybe just a very simple answer. Are you generally opposed to, during a primary, talking shit about the incumbent to try to get your guy elected in the primary? Is that your general position? Like if you're backing a new blood trying to beat the incumbent in a primary, do you think that it should are you arguing that it should be discouraged?
Am I a congressman in a different district? Like, am I a party member?
Sure.
Bam, you. Like, is your position?
That's what I'm saying. No,
I understand you're just a guy, but you're on this panel giving your opinion. Is your opinion here?
I'm as a voter can fight for whoever they want. I'm saying
hold on.
I'm saying that a Congress.
I'm listening. We're getting somewhere here.
Politicians to do this.
Yeah,
well, I missed the end part of what he said. You said that the average voter can vote whoever they want.
Can do whatever. But I'm saying, like, if I'm a congressman, I'm a senator, if I'm a high-ranking member of the party, I shouldn't be advocating against current members of my party, senators,
Why?
Unless they're like, if they're doing the party's goals. Like, I might not like this one thing they're doing, but if they're generally vote in tandem with the party, like,
what if someone else is doing a better thing? And
that would be the next question.
Well, I think
1% better or 2% better, but still better.
I think Bam is referring to the operations within government itself. You guys are talking about the political calculus based off policy that they're representing. But he's focused on the structure of the government itself and the relationships that are intertwined.
But that's what I'm asking about. Like, what kind of culture is served by having, like,
lackeys
falsifying these positions?
Not lackeys.
I think that all of the good things that you want, I don't think you can have I don't think you can have it like, hey, we're advocating for doing a good thing if I don't trust anybody in the room. If I know that all these people will stab me.
I understand your question.
He's focusing on the trust element in this conversation.
I understand.
Or just building.
I want to respond.
Yeah.
Okay.
Relationships.
I think it's fucking stupid to care about this shit. I think that, first off, Kamala threw a lot of elbows in the primary in 2020 at Biden. And then they ended up working together and being fine because they fucking understand that the outcome together, they need to work together.
Tulsi took her out.
Low-key, sure.
They were going for the same.
They need a low-key be on the same side. And fucking, I was just hearing this interview by Pete where someone was like, oh, Kamala kind of dissed you in her book. And like, Pete was like, can we just like move forward? Like, we have to sort of focus on the same thing.
Well, wait,
this idea that
they were literally competing.
He's talking about Hold on, wait. Yeah, what Bam's talking about has been a huge issue over the last year, especially when the fact that like Jeffries didn't endorse what's his name? Mamdani. Yes, that like a lot of people were pushing for
the primary.
even when he was like the Democrat, leading Democrat.
Nominee.
Yes, after the primary. But that's what people are talking about. They're only talking about the primary. You can't endorse Hunter. You can't endorse somebody running against an incumbent after the fucking primary. You can't do that. It's in the primary that we're talking about.
No. But you vote. No. You can. Yeah. Yes, you can. You can endorse them for the general.
That doesn't mean anything. Obviously, you endorse them for the general.
But you're normally in the general.
The hotly contested general of
the primary matters more.
Yes,
obviously, who cares?
That's what we're talking about is the fact that like there is generally a rule for the Democrat Party that you endorse the incumbent. That's the rule. Like they do it and people are mad about it.
Generally, the rule is you also elect the guy that got the most votes in the thing. But then we saw what they did with Bernie. So that's whatever.
Chuck Schumer did not endorse Mamdani for the mayoral race. He didn't do it. He didn't do it.
I get it.
Yeah.
I actually understand why he didn't. I don't like it.
I mean, Kamala famously got all the primary votes.
So, like, let's not pretending that it's all vote blue no matter who. He didn't endorse, right? Hakeem only reluctantly endorsed.
Hold on. Did Hakeem, first off, did Hakeem Jeffries vote for Mamdani in the election? Secondly, did Jeffries say vote blue no matter who? And three, who are we targeting?
I didn't talk about Jeffries. I said.
Who'd you say?
I said.
I don't even think. I don't think.
And then also Hakeem
Jeffries probably was asked who he voted for. I think he wouldn't say.
I'm a little lost on the actual.
So bam. Are you saying like Mamdani shouldn't have endorsed the DSA like candidates above the more liberal or moderate or the incumbent in New York, and like that's kind of what you're saying is that like the person who's running New York should probably not endorse like the people that they feel like work with them the best, but endorse the incumbents that have been working with New York the best, right? So like you say Mamdani endorsing his DSA candidates is something you dislike.
If you want to have a party,
there we go.
It's a bit more complicated than that.
So
it's a lot
I don't think
that.
But that's his gripe. Is what I'm saying.
I'll let Tom. Tom, if you want to jump in for a second, I will let you do that. And 1 second, Aduba gave $10 a while ago, right? $10 says Comrade Piker did nothing wrong. That's from our friend Doobie. Thank you, Doobie, for the kindness. Not sure if you're still around. This was a little bit ago, but thank you for the kind super chat. But to be clear, Connor or anyone else, I don't endorse anything, Piker said, but I will take money from people who endorse Connor. So you can put
valid.
So do I. Yeah, but the fight there, just to interject real quick, just because I haven't spoken in a while, is like, just don't sweep for the fucking tankies. That's it.
No,
just call the tankies the tankies.
They can't help it.
Wait,
Connor, this is who they are.
I am.
I'm about to say to bring it up to just to not make this about tankies. Just like again, I want you to talk about this, but kind of the fight that like stirred all of this up last week. Like the Republican Party is worse off in Texas by Trump not backing Thune. Thune is the second leading member of the Republican Party, and Trump decided that didn't matter to him, and the Republican Party is worse off in Texas from it. Like it was bad. It's bad for the party to have Paxton. To have Paxton.
Thune is from South Dakota, brother. You're talking about Corn.
Corn. Oh yeah, Paxton. I'm talking about Corn. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm talking about Corn.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, hold on, Gibbs. You even agree with that? You think Corn would be better than Paxton?
No, I mean I want Paxton over Corn. Corn's got to go. He fucking did not.
Well, why does Cornyn have to go?
He's not aggressive enough. He doesn't. Yeah, his foreign policy's dog shit. His fucking the Save Act.
What's his foreign policy?
He's like an old school. He's an old school neocon. He's not aggressive enough. I want fucking imperialism. That's what we want. That's what we all want. Paxton wants it.
All right, Connor. That's my response too.
Yeah. So wait. This is conservatism, folk style manifest destiny, baby.
Tom, finish your thought.
Folk style. You mean fascism?
Tom, and
what we were talking about earlier.
And
what we're talking about with the incumbents is a lot more complicated than what you guys are talking about because, like, with
Mamdani, can I just say Gibbs literally got me to quit a fucking panel by saying that Trump wrote an op-ed in 1987 about invading Karg Island and therefore the Iran war was based.
Nobody cares.
Dude, he literally said that shit in my fucking face.
Okay,
and I hung up.
It's true. He did do that though.
the fact that like Mom Donnie did endorse a bunch of DSA candidates, but he endorsed DSA candidates for Congress, right? Who didn't endorse those DSA candidates? AOC. She didn't endorse any of the congressional candidates, not one of them. You know who she did endorse? The New York Assembly candidates. She got 4 DSA New York Assembly candidates elected. And you know who didn't endorse any of those candidates? Mom Donnie, because Mom Donnie is part of the state. He can't endorse any state assembly candidates. AOC is part of Congress. She can't endorse any congressional candidates.
Yeah. So they're
she
sneaky about
endorses the yes, they're very sneaky about it. And this is the rule: is that like
that
AOC,
sneaky? That's
part
just
of Congress.
that sounds like politics.
She cannot. But yes, but this is the point that we're talking about, is that she can't endorse somebody who's running against an incumbent. She can't do it. And so she's endorsing other people. Mom Donnie's part of the state. He can't endorse people running against an incumbent. So he's endorsing for the fucking federal election. And they're splitting their endorsements for this because this is the rule. And I think that like when we're talking about this, people keep saying, well, just endorse whoever you want. Just endorse whoever you want. But the parties kind of have rules that you don't do that. You don't endorse against an incumbent.
Now that's fair.
Ali, and then
I don't like that rule. I think it's a
all
dumb
this
rule.
to say, all this to say for Bam, like you don't like that, like that's what's happening. But at the end of the day, like if these politicians are listening to their voters and their voters are like wanting the politicians that they endorse, right? Like the politicians they endorse are winning, right? To like Tom's point, you know, AOC endorsed these 4 people, they won, and then Mamdani endorses these people, they win. So it's like they're listening to their voters are getting what they want, and the only person is annoyed is you, because you're an institutionalist, because you want things to kind of like, I mean, what it sounds like is kind of keep the status quo to an extent, kind of move things incrementally.
What fucking institutionalist is? Are you for real? You just think that
that's what he said. He calls himself an institutionalist. So
that's not what it is. That's not what it means.
He calls himself
Ali is absolutely correct.
I don't know what it means. That's why I said incrementalism and slow pace.
Bam, are you institutionalist or not?
I am. Yeah,
he is.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying
what
that
are you
doesn't
saying?
That's exactly what he's saying. Bam, quick.
Wait, I'm not done with my point.
He already said it.
I'm not done with my point.
I agree. He's an institutionalist.
Yeah. So like,
doesn't mean being in favor of the status quo. Those are 2 different statements.
Okay, sure. I'm sorry, but like, it seems like he's okay with the way things are. Is what it gives. Is what it gives.
That's what it means. So that's not my perception. What Ben is saying.
But then, yeah.
Are you finished, Ollie? Are you finished?
Yeah, go ahead, Red. I'll just finish up right after you.
From my perception, I think he's kind of considering 2 calculations, and maybe the first one is a little bit more questionable, but I do think he's referring to an important part of the human element in terms of like the relationships that a lot of these politicians forge with each other that are very important to note. Regardless of what you feel about it, people will get pissed if certain people don't endorse other people. That's just the reality. Yeah. And you want a functioning government of people working together for a common goal. And then the second aspect I'm sure he's considering as well is the political aspect of the incumbency. Obviously has an advantage from everything that we've said earlier in terms of name recognition, in terms of working with the people that are already there, in terms of already working on policies or specific agendas that you already had in the chamber for a couple of years, and you want to continue working on that policy. It has a lot of advantages in addition to obviously being a little bit more politically savvy, unless your name gets completely bastardized like Cuomo did. That would be super advantageous for you when it comes down to getting elected. So regarding these 2 aspects of like deciding to endorse an incumbent, these calculations do matter. I don't think it's simple as we just like it how the way it is, or we just love to be institutionalists. I think these components are why these things are valuable in the first place.
Yeah,
there's
but
also how you get
they can be valuable.
Like
if the people are voting against the incumbents, if there's a reason to that. If the people are endorsing it, well then, but you being annoyed at it and you being frustrated by it,
why can't we be annoyed by the voters?
But the people, hold on, Ollie, you're missing what they're saying.
No, but the people that are winning, like they give you a vibe. But I'm saying that like when they're getting in position, I don't think that they're actually doing anything better. Like people, I think people underestimate what goes into whipping votes. I don't think Hakeem Jeffries, at least at this point, is going to go down as a great Democratic leader. I don't think like I said, I think he'll win the House. I don't think he'll go down as a great speaker. I think Nancy Pelosi was an excellent speaker of the House, and I believe that the two reasons she could do that. One of which is the reason why Hakeem Jeffries is in the position. She was the biggest fundraiser in the party at her time. Nobody could raise money like her.
I totally disagree with that.
And number
She was
two,
huge.
yeah, and number two.
No, I disagree that Jeffries isn't going to go down as a great during this offseason where they're the minority. They've been winning like every narrative war. They've been doing so much as a very small minority right now.
I don't think that's because
they have been fucking killing it.
It's because Trump is crazy.
Yeah, that's what the
they're
poll
great
numbers
at
say.
running the
According-
narrative.
according to
that's what the
AOC,
poll numbers say.
You can
Let's
disagree
give
with
credit
that.
where it's due.
Yeah, you can
Okay,
disagree with that. The second part, I think the thing that I like most about Nancy Pelosi is Nancy Pelosi whipped votes. Nancy Pelosi could get the party in line regardless of the majority for like even niche things. And it's not because every Democrat, it's not because like the Democrat in the 7th seat in I don't know how many seats New Hampshire has, but it cares about every niche issue that you want them to vote for. Like you don't just say like, "Hey, will you vote for it, pleasy wheezies?" And they say sure. It's like there's things that happen in return for this. It's like, oh, okay, I'll offer you. We're going to offer you so much funding. We're going to make sure that so many people back you. Like there's promises made, and
Pork,
if those
yeah.
promises, and pork, you said.
Yeah, pork. Yeah, you can put pork in bills, right? It's like
I'm
not even talking about what goes in bills. I'm just talking about I'm just talking about like the aspects of like leadership of like getting people on the same page of like
that's
like
what
you're having them
pork. I'm sorry, but it's the same thing. Though. I'm saying like that you can insert. That's what they call it. You can insert like favors, right? Like for your district within a larger bill, right? So like that seventh person from Virginia or whatever, right? Like you can insert like that funding you're talking about. You put it in the bill, right? And like we'll pass this. We'll put this amendment in, right, to get your support in the larger bill. But I'm agreeing with you here.
Okay, sure. Yeah, but I think that's a skill, and I don't think that works if it knows that like, oh, okay, none of the promises I make can be kept because you'll actually like you're coming to me asking me for a favor, and then next month you're gonna advocate for my opponent. Like so, no, I'm actually not gonna help you pass this Medicare for all thing because I live in a state that like, yeah, I'm blue, but I'm purpley blue. And like, it's not really in my interest to like go on the record for this, and we're not really party. You're not my friend. You're not someone who's going to defend me. So I think that's the thing that people don't consider.
You're saying
it's the reason why like
challenge.
Yeah, it's the reason why we like I said why we seen members of the squad come in. They were awesome. People were hyped. Like everyone knew their name, but we've seen them lose seats. One because of like APAC money and outside funding for sure, but it's also because they didn't have the parties backing because they chose not to.
Just a real quick question are the relationships more important than the will of the voter getting like passed? Because if you have the relationships but the big things you want don't get passed, well then you having the relationships doesn't really matter, right?
Because
that's why he said
because if you're in a purpley state but you get the votes, but you have the relationships, but you can't say that you want the Medicare for all because it doesn't benefit you because you're in a purpley state. Well, I mean, like then
no, I'm saying that
Fetterman should be challenged.
Also, over the problem with the uniparty, Ollie. Thank you.
Also, in a primary and an endorsement, you don't know what the will of the voters necessarily is at the time you're endorsing. Typically,
I'm saying that the people that you're getting in, like you assume you're going to get something better.
You should know your constituents more.
But to this point, the people that like if you look at the like leftist candidates that came and won, they haven't done anything legislation.
It's not stupid.
That's what I'm saying.
It's how people feel.
I like to address that.
But like Stevens,
you can call it stupid if you want, but how people feel affects votes.
Democrats are still being
of course understand them.
That didn't
so
pass.
let's go Lactoid and Gibbs. I do want to answer that question.
Dumb it down for me, Lactoid.
So this is how I interpret it, okay? And maybe they're going to disagree with this characterization, but this is the actual characterization. They are saying that politicians should not speak their mind in favor of the status quo. That is what actually is the proposal. If you're a politician and you do not think this incumbent is the best person for the job, and you think this other person is better for the job, they're saying you still shouldn't come out and endorse the up-and-coming candidate because it can cause discord, it can cause division amongst the party because people are going to be looking over their backs. And well, I don't want to do anything with you if I'm concerned that you might push for somebody running against me in a primary. I disagree with this on two bases. The first basis is I want people to speak their mind. I want people to endorse who they think is the best candidate for the job if I'm going to take their opinion at all, right? I don't want somebody not doing that. I mean, I want to hear what the people have to say, especially if we put them in a position of trust. And second of all, I think that the threat of like having your opponent be liked better than your colleagues
whips you into shape.
I think can absolutely whip them into shape. I mean, like it or hate it, one of the ways that Trump motivates the people, like in the House, to vote for his agenda, is if they don't, he endorses their opposition.
That doesn't work with Democrats.
Who usually win.
It didn't work for Trump.
Democrats just blame the voters.
Trump had to
That's
pass
the issue.
legislation.
They go,
That's
"You
not-
didn't vote for this person that we like. That's your fault." They blame the voter. They don't blame.
There's
blame
criticism
the
on
You had
both
the least
sides.
con-
I
legislation
do
in
want to
100
respond to
years.
that. I do want to.
They could. I'm just saying that, like, in both, I think that in both scenarios, like I don't see it providing the benefit that, like, the supposed benefit. I would like to see a little bit of like a concern and anxiety about people. I think that, yeah, you should be afraid to lose your job if you're doing a bad job, but also I want people in positions of trust to feel free to speak their mind. Whatever supposed benefits come from politicians being chummy with each other really doesn't sell me.
The Republican
I
Party
do
can't pass
want to
legislation.
Lactoid.
Bam,
What's
before
up
you
with
go, because I know you have your opinion. I do want to establish my proposition, because just because I was explaining my perception of what Bam is doing doesn't necessarily mean I co-sign the behavior. So when it comes down to candidates themselves, I do believe in ultimate authenticity of like picking who you are for who you are. However, just because I believe something doesn't mean I don't understand the political calculation that's taking place in real time. Because at the end of the day, the point of politics is to get elected, is to win elections. And that is the calculation that they're making to optimize getting elected, especially in
we don't want them to lie, though.
No,
I understand they do, but we shouldn't endorse that.
No, it's
when
just
you talk about when you're talking about lying, just an endorsement is not necessarily you lying.
If you endorse somebody that you don't actually endorse, yeah.
The goal of politics.
Yeah. So if I endorse somebody,
politics is not to get elected; it's to pass
just
policy.
because you don't agree. Just because you don't agree with their entire policy platform, you can endorse them because you know they're the best for winning. That happens all the time in terms of choosing the best candidate.
Sure, but again, if I think the up and comer has a better shot at winning the election, or they have better policies, or there's some combination of both that makes me genuinely like them more, then I would be lying if I endorse the other guy.
But that combination of both is the important part of the calculation to figure out which is the optimal person to win the election.
And that's not always the incumbent, right?
Oh, I agree. It's not always the incumbent.
There you go. So it should be a case by case. Yeah, it should be a case by case scenario, not this broad rule.
Well, that's what Riddell was doing. He was breaking away from bad.
Sure. Hey, look, like that particular analysis, I think that's probably fine. But I think that, like, I would want to hear the endorsement actually, because people are actually doing this right now in Wisconsin. People are saying, like, they're endorsing. I forget his name. That's how far behind he is. I think it's Smith or something. Yeah, they're endorsing him, and literally the endorsements are, we think that he can win, and we don't think Hong can win. That's like the extent of their endorsement. They're actually not even really commenting on like political policy. But I would think that, like, if you are a Democrat,
most voters vote as well.
Sure, but if you're like a blue dog Democrat, if you're like a Bill Maher type, where you're like your vote's actually in play now because there's these DSA lunatics are winning elections, then your endorsement should be based thus. You should say, look, I know that like the centrist might have a lower chance of winning or whatever, but I can't tolerate a actual socialist winning the election, so I'm endorsing whoever the centrist moderate point. And if that's your genuine opinion, that's the opinion. That's how you should act. I want people to act like authentically, genuinely. I like that.
To our friend Gibbs.
Like Trump.
And anyone else wants to jump in, let me know.
So before I begin,
check my message real quick.
First, I asked my homegirl to bring me a shot, and she brought me a fucking wine glass half full of whiskey. This puta loco. Secondly, here's I'm crazy bitch. Anyway, secondly, I want to say that I was taking the shot because I love what y'all are doing here. Y'all are just like not understanding what Ollie is saying. This is what I've been talking about when I talk about the lefties all the time, y'all have this like uppity smugness that y'all just know better than the American people. You know, there's a word, there's a thing that happened back, I don't remember, the 1800s sometime. It's the wisdom of masses, right? The wisdom of crowds, right? There was people were, if you got a bunch of people together, you could guess on how many balls were in the fucking pot. Yeah, Cowshy, same kind of concept, right? And you have these people, and what happens is the crowd wants something. And then you have people like Hunter and Ban who are like, hey, brothers, you know what? We know better than you. You don't want the thing you want. It's not electable. And then they go and sit here and make sure you keep electing the uniparty people. And that's why you're having this massive turn towards the populist left. You have this massive turn towards the populist right. And you all keep bitching about institutions. Republicans are getting what they want. You know, we're getting Brandon Herrera in there. We're getting, what's his name, Gill in there. We're getting all sorts of people in there to replace it. Cornyn's out. You know, if it wasn't going to be Cornyn, it wasn't going to be Paxton, it was going to be Hunt, who's also a MAGA guy. Like, we're getting people that want to move as what the people that are in the Republican Party want. You can bitch all these things, but 76% to 72% approval rating within the Republican Party right now is saying, hey, if you're an incumbent, get on the train or get off the train. And guess what? If you're not getting on, you're out. The Democrats don't seem to know what the train is. Y'all are going 15 directions and you're taking each other out. And the way y'all are going is more socialist, despite what Hunter wants. And here's the crazy thing. If you don't go the way Hunter and Bam want, at least Bam's nice. Hunter is telling you y'all are retarded. And I'm just saying,
hell yeah,
join the winning side.
Hunter's actually costing
crazy.
The moderates all the votes because he just keeps casting away the 30% of Democrats that are claiming the DSA. So
it's not even about the DSA stuff. Like there's stuff that I don't like. I just keep thinking of examples. Like there's a reason why like things that Joe Manchin did did during his time used to piss me off. But there's a reason why I don't spend a lot of time being upset at Joe Manchin, or people are like, we should primary Joe Manchin in West Virginia. It's because he's in West Virginia.
Yeah,
and he held a seat, and he had like a as good as you could reasonably expect voting record with Democrats. Again, would someone rather like a progressive be in that seat? Sure, but he's in West Virginia. So that's part of that has to be part of the calculation with forming a party. Like, but I don't think that, like, for example, I don't think that Ilhan Omar would have that calculation in how she discusses Joe Manchin. I'm not even saying she did because she didn't talk a lot in general. But I feel like if you asked her what she thought of Joe Manchin, I think she would like shit on him as a member of the party in West Virginia on like why doesn't he vote for Medicare for all, blah blah blah, or what And I don't think that's feasible. That's what I'm saying. That's not competent of running a party. Like you have to understand that you're in a super blue seat versus being not. Versus like, what is our goal? Our goal, because people say the goal is to get elected, and that's true. But the goal is also like my goal. I would hope for the party as a whole to pass legislation, and passing things take more.
So I'm comment on that very quickly. Then I want to go to Hunter. That like I agree that like for a politician, their individual goal may just to be elected and have a job like continuously. Fair enough, right? But the goal of politics isn't to get elected. The goal of politics is to get things passed, right? The goal of politics isn't for me to provide a job, right? For these geriatrics for decades. I don't care about that, right? If they're not doing what I need, right? And shout out to Gibbs. I don't know if you can hear me. Shout out to Gibbs. Actually, the point is that like we elect these people within these the parties, these political bodies,
to do what we want,
to do what the people want. Our group wants, right? My group is
asterisk
from Gibbs' group, right? And
individual groups,
group. Yeah. But like Lactoid has a desire, right, for his
fascism,
his leaders. Sorry, yeah, for his leaders.
He said it, guys. Let's get him.
He should.
It's gonna be the tagline tomorrow.
Be able to find politicians who actually are going to fight for that. So no, I'm not in like the job the job protection racket for these geriatrics. Fuck that. No, I'm in to the passing policy, right?
Sure, but I feel like your top
I know how to you want.
Lactoids in that same racket. Yeah, we actually should.
Wait, but you just.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Contradict yourself. Sorry. Wait, but didn't you just contradict yourself? You're saying that like you're not in the job protection market, but you're in getting policy done market. So when we're talking about somebody like Joe Manchin, where the option is Joe Manchin or a Republican, but then the progressives come in and primary him because they're like, we want more progressive policy. Well, now you just have a progressive that has zero chance of winning, and now a Republican gets in instead, and now you're not passing any policy because you have a minority again.
I can address that, sure. I think I think that what Bam said about Joe Manchin, excuse me, sorry. What Bam said about Joe Manchin is fair from like a pragmatic standpoint, right? That like, that might be the best way out. And we did, to be clear, right? In West Virginia, we did have progressive try to run against them, and they lost. And it's unfortunate. I like the guy who was running against them, but he lost. And so fair enough, right? Maybe Joe Manchin is the best we could get in that situation, right? But then on the other side, don't tell me, right? And maybe you're not actually saying this, Tom, right? And I'm not trying to put words into Bam or your mouth, right? But from the Democratic establishment, don't tell me that we have a safe seat that we can't actually push left, right? For the deep crimson red seats, the Republicans pushed right? Our friend Gibbs, right? He's like trying to get people who represent him, right? They're not like
90s era Democrats, yes.
They're not. Oh, sorry, hold on. No, I get. They're not the conciliatory. They're not like they're not trying to like appeal to the. No, you are next, Hunter. You're on the list, friend.
Sorry.
No worries, friend. You can't. Sorry. The people in Gibbs's district aren't like trying to appeal to the rest of the country, right? They're trying to appeal to Gibbs, right? His constituency, and if it's in a safe red seat, which I imagine you are, right? If you are in a safe red seat, yeah, actually, it makes sense that they have the ability to push
seat.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm like the only San Antonio city, province or not province. What am I looking for? District that's not part of San Antonio that votes red. So like we're voting Brandon Gill. Like obviously I like it's either Gill or Herrera. I always get them confused. But yeah, we're pushing more right. We're pushing more imperialists. Like that's what we want. Like and they're doing that. And I even in our opening spoke out against Patrick because he's doing the opposite of what they have. The 80-20 issues are in the Republican Party. Like so yeah. If you're not doing what we're doing, get out.
Then get out. Then get the fuck out.
Get the fuck out.
If you are in New York, right? If you're in a safe blue seat, absolutely, yes, we should push left, right? Yeah. And then our friend, I think Bam and Tom, I think something they were trying to get to is that these group of people, this squad, they got into Congress, and like, what have they done, right? And I think it's fair. There's very little, right? Not nothing, but very little they can show. But yeah,
but I think
there was like 5 of them at the most, kind of 4, right? Because the one in Massachusetts, I think I'm getting her name right now. She was barely.
They're also generally unproductive.
But I want to be clear. That's why I'm saying, like,
let me just finish this off. Lazy.
Bernie Sanders is like one of the worst attendance ratings like of any. They're just lazy people.
You're just.
That's why they're socialists.
These old white men, Blacktoid, right? They're just lazy.
Blacktoid.
Bad for our country.
We should get rid of all.
Blacktoid.
Get rid of all the old white men.
You know exactly how to get out of my skin, friend. But you're great. You're beautiful. But anyway, the point. So I'm gonna wrap it up. Because I want to hear what other people have to say. But like, fuck. Shit. I'm sorry.
Hell yeah. I haven't gotten things.
You ruined your flow.
Blacktoid. Yeah.
Conservative tactic victory.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, look, I guess I'll just wrap it up. I had something else I was going to say, but like, yeah, we should be able to push back. Oh yeah. So you were saying that like, they can't get anything done, but yeah, they're a tiny caucus, right? This is the process of building that caucus, right? To actually have a significant block. The centrist Democrats don't agree with the progressives. You guys, right? Keep saying how much you disagree with the progressives, and then you're like, "Oh, okay, for this tiny ass caucus,
Hunter says he is
a huge body. Why haven't you done it? Why haven't you changed the world? No, actually, that's not how that works. They have to build. And that's the important part, right? Like, and this was, and I'll give, because centrists made this point a long time ago, right? And this was correct, right? Saying, hey, well, you're just trying to insert Bernie Sanders at the head of the Democratic Party, but he doesn't have a caucus behind him, right? The other people disagree. We disagree with him, right? We're more on Hillary Clinton's side. We disagree. So he has to have something. If he goes in without a caucus, he'll be extremely ineffective. And you were right about that. This is the caucus building right now. That's what's happening right now.
So it sounds like sounds like you would want to protect those people. It sounds like you actually think that like you're intra-party. You think that like, oh, there's actually value to building them, even if they're not accomplishing things. They shouldn't talk bad about each other, and you actually want them to expand their power. Because maybe if they get
talk shit all you want, as long as your voters represent.
No, here's the difference between you and me, right? So I do want them to expand their power, but if there aren't actually fighting for my priorities, right? If I think any of them are fighting for, I want to primary them
But
too.
that's a vibe check.
I want to
because you
primary
talk
all
about
the
metrics.
shit you want, as long as the voters are happy and they keep voting for you.
All of them should get primaried, right? And all the squad members that you think that I have some sort of loyalty to, primary every single one of them every time. Put up a strong candidate on them. They should always be fighting. There should always be a churn, right? That's important for politics.
I don't disagree
Actually,
with that.
100%.
That's how politics should work. No, that's how politics should work, because the whole time during the Kamala loss, all anyone tried to say was like, "Hey, she didn't earn the vote," and all you guys were, "What do you mean she didn't earn?" You have to earn the vote. You have to be on your toes. You have to put up a good fight. You have to put up the best fight, and if you don't put up the best fight, you don't win.
Let's go to Hunter. Hunter's been waiting patiently. Hunter usually doesn't wait patiently, so this is amazing. Let's all enjoy this moment. Go ahead, Hunter.
Okay, I feel like I have two things that I want to say. The first is to Prime, the second is to Ali. So I'll like try to figure out what specific. Okay. Ali, I think you're a little hypocritical. I do think that you're saying you want politicians just to be honest with themselves, okay, and just be honest with voters. But you don't want me to be honest, because I think voters are retarded and you don't like that I'm honest. I do think that that's what's going on. I do think that that's the issue. And you're frustrated that I'm honest. Wait, hold on. No.
I'm cool with your honesty. I just think that your honesty and your goals conflict. But
let me be clear. If I'm talking to a homeless person, and I shouldn't just go, hey, look, you don't understand. Like, the system is really bigger than you, and you were brought in a place that like you really didn't have a lot of free will given to you. It's like, get off your fucking ass and go get a job. Like, genuinely, if it's someone I know, especially, right? Like, if it's someone I know, my brother was homeless for a little bit, and it was because he was like, he's an idiot, like. And like, it's not because he didn't just have the resources.
What about people who can't afford
just made Thanksgiving pretty awesome.
Just listen. Hold on. He knows. I think it's already awkward. Don't worry with that fucking kid. Well, it depends what we're talking to. It depends on who we're talking to. But if I'm talking to like a legislator, okay, and the legislator's like, these homeless people need to get off their ass. It's like, no, dude, you don't understand. Like, the systems are really not working for itself, and like, you have to build structure to make sure that it works for these people, even though they. You know what? Like, it depends.
So the person who isn't listening to you, you give the empathy and the kindness. Yes. The person who would listen to you, you don't give any empathy and kindness. Go ahead, keep going.
Sure.
The politician, it's a better system. But the homeless person, get off your ass.
No. It's not empathy. No. I'm talking. It's not empathy and kindness.
If it was a homeless person, give him money to go vote.
You look at what you can do within your sphere of influence, and you do what you can. Okay. And when I'm talking to the voters, I'm saying you got to be fucking smarter. You actually have to figure this shit out and actually understand how these policies work, and like, not just be whiny little babies. Now, if I'm talking to a politician, I would change my tune. I would say, hey, you really do actually have to fucking listen to these voters, and you really do.
But you want the voters to vote for your politician, right?
I want to vote. Yeah, of course.
So if you're calling them whiny babies and bitches and so on and so forth, why would they listen to you? And vote
I guess I need them to not be whiny
if they disagree with your politics, or if they disagree with your views,
it's a self-referencing circle. Because if they weren't fucking whiny babies, when I called them a whiny baby, they'd go, "Shit, I really do need to be better. I really need to stop being a fucking whiny baby."
I mean, or you just think they're a whiny baby and they're complaining about problems that they have in their lives, and
they're not talking about problems that they have. They're not talking about problems.
But I think a lot of people are. I think their vote. I think their vote is indicative of like, hey, people seem to be voting a little bit more left, and it keeps increasing a little bit more. And we keep looking for these policies, and you're calling these people that want these policies whiny bitches. So you don't understand how policy works. It's like, well, they don't care how policy works. All they know is, hey, I want to vote in this person who can do the thing I want, and if you're not going to do the thing I want, well, then what the fuck did I vote for?
They don't want that.
But which side are you going to be on, Ali? Are you going to be on the side of educating them for the right side, or are you going to be on the side where you just keep saying
no? Wait, no. You guys keep doing this thing where like we need to educate people into being okay with the fact that they're broke. No. I think people. I don't think we need to educate people and be like, "Hey, listen, you're right. You can't afford your rent. It's fine. Look at this policy right here that explains why you can't afford your rent. But you can fuck yourself. Come vote for me next year."
No, I'm talking about how to lower their rent, and they don't fucking care because they're like, "No way, just fucking lower the rent. Just turn the dial."
Because they can't afford their rent.
I know.
And you're like, "Well, no, it's fine. You can't afford your rent. Just get evicted."
Hunter, you know you're unironically doing the bourgeoisie thing. Like, that's what you're doing.
Hold on. way. We're saying
I think
there's
there's
a
a
more likely way to
perception
get
gap
it
that needs to
done.
be
We're saying
mitigated
that it's gonna make it to
No.
where it's actually
You're
done.
saying
If
you're
you
saying
don't get rid. Hold
no.
on, wait,
That's not what you guys are saying.
Yes, we
Yes,
are.
no,
No, it
listen,
isn't. No, it
listen,
isn't.
listen. We're
Okay.
saying you're more likely to get it done with Manchin than you are to have a progressive come in, lose, and replace him with a Republican.
Or
you're saying it's better with the cinema.
Or the people who are living in blue seats, the people who are living in the blue states, right? They can prove. So like Mamdani does the rent freeze, If it doesn't fuck up, all of New York, and then it gets proven that freezing the rent may help the people that need their their rents frozen. It can help, and then oh my god, now we can push for that policy going forward, right or wrong?
Wrong. Because, wait, no. Let me clarify.
I actually respect El Said for running in the competitive race.
Let me be super fucking clear here, okay? First off, rent freezes don't work. This has been the most historically.
we're gonna have this argument.
I don't care to have this argument. I'm saying if it does work. I'm saying if it does work.
I don't care. Great.
Yeah, there you go.
If it does work, for who really?
For New York, right now.
Your party pushes it, though, Hunter.
If the DSA works in New York, right? If the people feel
I don't
keep
think
electing
I don't think you're
Mamdani,
capable of having the conversation I want to be having. Genuinely,
No,
so I'm gonna skip past the conversation I want to have.
I'm actually agree.
Hunter has this thing where he thinks he's the most intellectual person on this podcast, and yet no one understands him. I think there's the common denominator of no one understands what the fuck you're ever saying, and I think that's more clear.
Okay, how about this?
Everyone gets what I'm talking about.
Hunter,
because he's too smart, Ali.
Oh, he's a genius.
Say something to me. So you can say that to me. I do
I'll
want
be-
to
this will
let
be
in
much quicker.
Connor because he hasn't said something for a while, and I feel lonely about him.
I'm gonna say something.
And bam.
I'm going to say something much quicker.
Yeah.
Brian, I do apologize if I'm getting this wrong because I do think I'm not exactly understanding your position. So because this feels like such an obvious. Okay. Anyway, I think you're saying, hey, we should always be pushing more left. And in purple districts, we should obviously be pushing more left. And then in deep blue districts, we should still be pushing more left. Obviously, that's only from the perspective of people who are further left than any of the Democrats right now. But I'm to the right of Zoran. I'm to the right of Hong. So obviously when they caucus build and when they primary challenges, when they primary challengers, I'm against those, but I'm for it in a purple district when I think that they should be moving slightly more left than like Kelly. I think Buttigieg is a better, like, whatever. Like,
but I wasn't criticizing you for that, right?
I thought you were saying.
No. I said specifically, right?
Okay.
The party establishment. I said I don't want to put words in Tom or Bam's mouth, right? Because I don't want to say they said this, but the party establishment says that we can't push left. They fight us all the time on pushing left, saying these things are unreasonable and all this nonsense. No, I'm against that. So no, I'm not saying Hunter, you can have your opinion, right? You're certainly allowed to. I won't take it away, right? I mean, I haven't made the camps yet. The re-education system isn't set up, so you have your opinions. But yeah. So I'm not going to criticize you, friend.
Okay, maybe I just misunderstood your position, and I am a little bit distracted by Gibbs's.
I see it.
All right, but yeah, we could move it over to Connor or whatever.
Yeah, let's go to Connor, then Bam. Then anyone else who wants to jump in, let me know. Over down.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I feel like Bam has distracted us with attempting to recenter us on the conversation rather than let us have like the socialism is bad fight that we were all craving. And so what I would
all
say
of our opening statements were about.
I took a substantial amount of flack over the past year when I said that I went with Kamala as a result of a calculation that Trump was going to be terrible. And I feel vindicated in that calculation. But what I also said is that the center leftoids are going to have to do a similar calculation where the left is getting more and more extreme, further out the field, et cetera, et cetera. There's going to have to be a cutoff point. And then what's weird is there's this fraction between the liberals. I would say the DGG associated liberals, maybe Hutch, Destiny, Mootin, Wick, and all that kind of stuff. And they're saying, no. Here's my line. Here's where it's too far left. I would actually vote for a center-right person over
and
a
Pisco
far
for once
left
is right.
person. And I think that is the conversation that I would love to see. Is I'm looking like Hunter and tomfoolery and maybe Riddell and maybe Bam. What is the line at which point you vote for Rubio over Abdul al-Said?
That's actually a good question.
When they're the lesser evil.
That's actually a good question.
Well, right, but at the same time,
clarify where that is.
Clarify where that is, because for me, sorry, real quick.
I'm going to.
So I'll finish this and then I'll be quiet again. I promise. So for me, the decommodification of basic human need and workers owning the means of production. So food, water, and shelter being free, basically everybody can consume it, and then the workers owning the means of production. The level of state that you would need to enforce that would be so fucking big, it would be indistinguishable from the CCP. Like you are just going to implement a massive authoritarian state. So I don't care if you put democratic in front of it. Socialism is too far left for me. Now, if you want to talk about like Scandinavian social democracy or whatever, we could talk about like technocratic fucking welfare policy and all that bullshit. But where I know where my line is, where is your line?
Sure. Let me.
So I don't. Well, real quick, I don't think that it's like as simple to where I can ever say that like there is this line, because I think everybody's way too complicated for that. Currently, my standard is like if you're going to help Trump, work with Trump to help his policies, you're going to help him do the things that he wants to do, and we're more likely to get a far left progressive, nut job in who I may not agree with them on much of anything, but I do think they're more likely to fight against Trump on those things. I will vote for the lesser of two evil in that case. And there isn't a line where I will never not vote for the lesser of two evil. If there's one person who's going to rape 1 million kids and the other one's going to rape 10 million kids, I'm going to vote for the one who's only raping 10 million
or you
kids.
Don't vote. Or you just don't vote.
I'm saying I just said there is literally no line where I don't vote. Like that does.
He would have voted for Platinum.
That's what he's saying. Let me give you a less bad position.
We will go to Bam, and before then, I just want to get these super chats out. No, they just came
Liberals
in.
always run the child rape as their example.
Why? Let's go to
because that's the worst thing we can think of.
Yes,
you guys think about it a lot. You guys think about it way too much.
It's the worst thing that is capable of doing.
They're also the ones pushing the stuff in the
always on my mind.
I'm gonna get the super chats out, and then we're gonna do friend Bam. Super chat from Starch Manning says the Democratic Party needs to move back towards the center. So to the left, corporate Democrats need a new FDR. So I'm a little confused here, though, right?
I know what this person's saying. This person's saying the roots of the Democratic Party are like FDR socialists, and you guys should move back to that, pretty much.
They've gone right, is what he's saying. The Democratic Party's gone right.
Yeah, we're actually right wing.
Yeah,
which is one of the.
They need to move
back. FDR.
FDR is famously right wing. Famously.
You should go back to putting people in camps based on their ethnicity, like FDR did. Yes.
They're saying FDR is.
Like
I'm more aware of
Trump
what's going on than
Alligator Alcatraz. Anyway,
was that based on their ethnicity?
Yes,
you asked Trump, and absolutely.
No, it was based on whether or not they were in the country illegally.
That's exactly.
No, people
it's fine.
As opposed to the internment camps.
And then let's go. No, they were both bad. They were also bad. I will agree.
You're right. We should go back to FDR with the internment camps.
Just like all socialists, they love each other.
I will be brave.
They're just talking about the New Deal.
I will be brave and say I disagree with internment camps.
You disavow FDR?
Hot take.
I disavow.
You disavow FDR?
We condemn FDR.
Starch Manning.
Okay.
He says another $5. Says Democratic leadership would rather lose to Republicans than raise the minimum wage or offer Medicare for all. Actually, true. Starch Manning, you're cool. You're cool in my book, especially if you give to the channel. But no, seriously, thank you for that. I agree. Yes, they would actually rather lose. Yeah, the
then raise the minimum wage. What the fuck are we talking about?
You mean the federal? Sorry.
Minimum wage trash.
You mean like when we're the fight for $15 an hour, right? Where all of a sudden the parliamentarian is the reason why we can't do that, even though we can fire them, which is something that's been done plenty of times. Oh, but the rules stop me. I really wanted to do it, but the rules stop me. Yeah, bullshit. Okay, whatever. But thank you, Sergeant Manning, for the kindness. And then we'll go to our friend Bam and sorry, who else I had here? Bam, Riddell, Gibbs, and
Riddell.
Yeah.
Big Riddell.
So I'm gonna answer your question as part of my response, Connor. I don't go nearly as far as Tom, but I think that there's I think
You're
that
not voting for a million rapes.
Yeah, no. I think that there's in the current reality, anyone associated with like actively in the Republican Party as it exists as MAGA is to me the more immediate threat right now. Whenever you talk about like, oh, where do you draw the line at like El Sayed, if you actually look at what he's talked about instead of like what people associate him with,
Sharia law.
Okay, that's what that's what he's talked about. God, Jesus Christ, y'all are racist.
Yes, I mean he said it, not me. I'm just saying.
No, it's part of his campaign.
He said he wants to do Sharia law.
He's distracting. Just keep.
There's a reason. There's a reason why he's one of the a primary in Michigan. Like you can't do that with just like Muslims. Yes, they're a factor, but they don't control the state. Contrary to popular belief, as again, I say I'm an institutionalist. Like I do have things that I advocate for, and I do have lines that I draw, but I'm not a contrarian. There's people in the party. Like I don't think I was would have advocated for Manami. I did not advocate for ALC. I think both have so far been excellent politicians. I'm like, oh, they're actually good at doing politics, politics for their location, for their area. Even if I don't like everything about them, I support them as members of the Democratic Party.
They had to change for that to be the case, right?
Yeah, and they did change. They grew. Or I guess Mondami didn't really change.
They moderated.
That wouldn't be fair to him.
No, Mondami definitely moderated. But
well, I don't know. Maybe on what he's running.
That was the point.
But like I regardless of what that, somebody I wouldn't vote for. Like I would just not participate if like Breonna Joy Gray was on the ballot. I think she's a Russian asset. I hate her.
Barely.
Yeah,
like,
she's wilding out.
I think she's actually a Russian asset. But outside, like there's different lines you can draw on that. My broader point, and what I believe the future looks like. Connor, let me ask you this, and I'll make my last point after it. And this is me just outside looking in. I think you're probably disgusted with what happened to, I don't know, your party, the Republican Party. Like people talk about the Republicans have pushed right into populism and it's worked out for them. But I think you're actually disgusted with what your party looks like. Like that, it's a reason. I don't think you like. I know your politics are in the middle, but I don't think you want to be a Democrat. Realistically, like you would rather have a better.
No, I mean you're right. I don't want to be at all. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So whenever like people point to what MAGA's doing as some like success story, I think the Republican Party is literally like zombification of itself. I don't think there's any principles. Like like Trump is buying taking ownership in the private corporations, and they're like celebrating it. There's the high levels of corruption, and yes, but
the voters are celebrating it.
Did they win a couple of? Yes, that's what they're.
Yes, because the voters are dumb, like Hunter said.
No, because the voters are getting what they want out of it. So the people who did vote for Trump,
how are the voters? How are the voters benefited by the federal government buying 10% of Nvidia?
Because they're getting the other things that they think that they want, the deportations
and
so on and so forth.
Ollie, you are demonstrating. Hold on, Ollie, you are demonstrating exactly why you claim to hate like the economic field, where you're like, everyone keeps thinking in economics that everyone's such a rational actor. Don't you know that people actually do things that are irrational? Don't you know that voters are irrational? Don't you know sometimes they
on
just
the
vote
issue
for
that they're
people?
unhappy.
Because it just
Unhappy with the
says-
economy.
I know, but if the
unhappy
voters
with
feel like
war.
they're getting what they want, they keep
they just
voting
don't
for him. It doesn't
associate
matter
that
if
with
Connor's
It's
disinterested
so
with the
it's such a
Republican
rational
Party.
view of voters. It pisses me off.
I mean, Ali's absolutely correct, though.
But yeah, Ali is correct.
The
He's a
Connor's
good-
disinterested with the Republican Party doesn't mean
Don't-
anything.
don't advocate it against
If you
it.
guys are disinterested
Don't
with the
advocate it
Democratic Party, but the DSA keeps winning, right? And they keep winning the voters over. Well, your disinterest doesn't really fucking matter.
You won like 3 races. Let's slow down.
That's not the Republican
I'm
Party
talking
anymore.
about advocating against it, Ali.
I
You're
know.
saying over and over
Using
people fucking
is the-
hate
just the point.
people want the
So-
Nazis. What you don't need to
I
advocate
just wouldn't
against.
use MAGA as like.
I never said you don't need to advocate. You can
Exactly.
advocate against
I'm
it.
worried about the fucking
But the
Jews.
disinterest
The
doesn't
people
matter.
want the Jews
The
dead.
point that Bam was trying to make. The point Bam was trying to make was, oh look, the Republicans actually they're not doing that great because a lot of some of their people are disinterested with the party now. That's what's happening with the Democrats, and now what's happening.
No, I'm saying that.
I want to say, I'm sorry. You made a comment to Connor, right? So I want to give Connor a chance to respond to that. But also quickly, I want to respond to Connor. Connor asked a question. I'll answer it very quickly, right? You said,
I still get
Hunter, don't worry. So yeah, I haven't forgotten you. Riddell,
The question wasn't to you, Prime.
It's Riddell, Gibbs, Lactoid, Hunter. No. But he asked. No, yes,
I was asking Leslie.
It's true. It
Moderate, to be fair, it wasn't to you.
But okay, well, I'll answer it because you're asking lefties. I'll okay. So quickly,
I'm being
right?
censored.
Yeah, you're saying. Yeah, don't worry, you're not. We're gonna go. You're on the list. I have your name. So what do we gain for 10% stake in Intel? What do we gain? We gain a stake in a company that we invested in. Right, Connor, if you give me like, I don't know, $100,000, right, and invest it into my like a private corporation, right, privately held corporation, it is not unreasonable, Connor. If you're like, yeah, I want a stake in this, right, like you needed some sort of bridge loan to make it across the hump, yeah, I want a stake in it, right? Actually, Trump did a good thing. Shout out to Trump, right? And hey, it's something the socialists wanted, right? So I thank Trump, right, for putting in a socialist policy. I think the man that Lactoid voted for introducing this socialist idea of taking a stake into these companies. And I love it. Yeah, I actually love it. If we're investing,
We
in
both
these
bitched about
companies,
that too.
Just about the banks, right? Remember the banks? The banks, we put so much money into them. Yeah, actually, we deserve a stake in that. 100%. Yeah, that's reasonable. But Connor, I know you're like, I'm killing you. So you can respond to me very quickly. I want to go to Riddell, Gibbs, and
yeah, that was a lot. What I think what Bam was scratched at before we went down this thing, and I'll try to address anything that I remember, was the fact that I do view the Republican Party as getting zombified. I do view it the populist, economic, right wing, pandering to the lowest common denominator in order to win power, and then doing fucked up shit with power as what's potentially threatening the left. I am praying that the democratic institutions or Republican institutions of our country are able to temper these things. And I'm praying. But what I wanted to say to Ali was like that there's this thing with the left that it kind of feels implied by what you're saying, which it's like, oh, well, the vast majority of people want it, therefore it's good. And I was raised with like a completely different perspective that was rooted in American representative democracy, that the masses are oftentimes poorly tempered, ignorant, fucking average, mediocre, dumb fucks who don't understand policy at all, don't understand economics, barely made it out of fucking high school, barely made it through fucking college. That so it's the equivalent of becoming, and I hate that this is the example, but being like, I'm going to run for school president, and then I'm going to get pizza every single day, ice cream every single day, nap time is going to be extended by an hour, and then recess is going to be double the amount of time. And then everybody votes for that person regardless of their capacity to actually implement them. I'm not impressed by popularity. Popularity is one of like the least important things that I care about, because any dumb fuck can say shit that's popular. And so the reason why I'm frustrated with your appeals to popularity is because it's like, yes, to some level, you need to like do what's good for the quote unquote vulgar masses. But if you're asking like, oh, well, shitloads of people fucking want it, therefore, isn't that what we should do? Absolutely the fuck not.
So it's not that. It's not that they want their pizza and their what's called. It's that the American voters are looking at things that other countries seem to have implemented, other lesser countries seem to have implemented. And what you just said was like, well, hey, we can't implement them. So it's not that the voters want pizzas and they want things that they can't have. It's that they want things that they can have, but we can't implement them for some reason.
I want to rebuttal to this because I can be very specific.
It's good content.
So if you, like I said earlier, if you wanted to talk to me about like technocratic, social democratic Scandinavian systems, then we could have a conversation about what the appropriate level of the state interaction with the economy is. But Prime, in my opinion, rawly blew this the fuck up in the past 5 minutes, where both him and Gibbs were cheering, oh, the government intervened in the economy. They should take massive stake in our corporations. I'm sure that'll have no deleterious effects on the way that the American economy works. And that to me is suicidally fucking stupid because it's effectively Chinese state capitalism.
That's a lie.
I'm not interested in Chinese state capitalism.
Okay, counter.
Thank you.
Now I want to answer it.
Yeah, I will just 1 second because Prime's end goal, right, in the eventual future, in the future that he wants, is that yes, we decommodify, blah blah blah, and the workers own the mean of production. But he doesn't think we're gonna get it tomorrow, right? There are steps to getting there.
It's
right.
A step in the wrong direction.
I mean,
that's
that's your opinion, which is what politics are. So when the politicians are getting up, when you say we have a representative, when you say we have a representative democracy, Connor, but the voters are idiots. Well, guess what? We still rely on the voters to elect our representatives, right? So either either the representative is just as retarded as the voter, right? What do you mean no? Because the retards are the one voting in the policy.
They have to appeal to the
retarded,
they have to appeal to the retards. They don't
they have to appeal. So right now, if there's a shift, if there's a shift in how the representatives are, if there's a shift in how the voters are voting, right, then it's up to the representatives to catch that momentum, not up to the voters, right?
Let's go to Red Down. That's what they're doing.
We got a really bad spot.
We gotta move on.
You're in a really bad spot. I can be 10 seconds.
You have to.
We're in a really bad spot.
I gotta take the mic.
You just gotta jump in, Riddell.
Becoming more like state capitalism.
Over Connor, make him red.
Okay. Well, next is Riddell. Then it's Gibbs, and it's Lactoid, then it's Hunter. Thank you.
I understand the passion. Don't get me wrong. I would say there needs to be an understanding to reach out to voters. I do think education is very important, but the perception gap is also very important to make sure that there's an understanding of how these things work, and we're not putting into like terrible systems that will erode and destroy America. I think those are all very important things to consider. To answer Connor's question, I'm not principally attached to any party. I'm just not. My biggest thing right now is I'm principally attached to progressing the American project, to improving the country, and I advocate for policies that I think will do so. And I also am very antagonistic to movements, parties, and ideologies that is going to be against those core principles. So obviously I'm against MAGA fascism, and that also means I'm against DSA Marxists or DSA communists, because I think their project is antagonistic to my project. However, regardless of those opinions, there's also the calculation of limiting harm. And that's also something I'm very passionate about, because at the end of the day, we all recognize the immediate threat is MAGA. We all recognize that they are the ones with the power, and you got to take that calculation into account when you're picking the candidates to put in power. If we do reach a point of, I don't know, Republicans being normal again, then I think there is a legitimate argument for those individuals over DSA communist candidates. However, another play that I do think is interesting in this conversation is that there is a growing momentum, not as big as like the far left DSA. And there are some candidates that are not DSA, like Abdul is not DSA, but they're pitching like far, like you could say far left, progressive policies, all that stuff. There is also the movement of pitching to independent candidates that is growing as well. And if there is a calculation where there's a DSA Democratic candidate and a MAGA candidate, and somehow the independent candidate could win, then that's something strongly I would consider, because there's been times in the past where a write-in candidate was against, like the Tea Party was a perfect example, where a write-in candidate beat a Tea Party candidate. So I do think it all matters in terms of determining what is going to ensure that America survives and moves in the proper direction. And right now, MAGA in power is the thing we got to deal with. So hopefully that answers your question.
Gibbs, Lactoid, then Hunter.
Yeah, so first I want to object to a couple of things. I for one, bitched real hard on this panel with Lactoid, specifically about him buying the NVIDIA. So that's fake news. I also bitched about the Argentina beef deal because, once again, didn't want Trump interfering with the economy. That was a thing. I also bitched about subsidies to row farmers that Trump has done. I bitched about corn subsidies previously. I don't like it when government gets involved in certain economic sectors, especially ag overall. Like, there's the things that I would like them to stay the fuck out of. The government never does it right. They always fuck up. Specifically, when we're talking about row farmers, which gave a bunch of benefits to corporate farmers, not anything to mom and pop, and it also hurts the ranching industry. But that's neither here nor there. The point is, though, this is what the Dems do. They sit here and they try to frame Republicans as this monolith, like, oh, we all want these same thing. But I once again came on here and said, hey, I don't want Dan Patrick. He's got to go. He's fucked up, and he's an entrenched incumbent Republican that's mostly sided with Trump for almost everything, right? So these are things that I've gone over and over again. I go against it. Now, what's interesting to me is that a lot of the people that are voting Republican and voting Trump are saying that Trump is basically reminiscent of a 90s Democrat. If you look at the immigration policies, you look at foreign policy, look at a lot of the things, you go and see Chuck Schumer, you can see Harry Reid, you can see Clinton, all saying similar things that Trump is now. He hasn't moved that far. The over to window has moved so far to the left. Yeah, very similar things, actually. He's moved over so far to the left that these guys over here are just upset about it. And all he is absolutely right. See, the thing what happened with the Tea Party is that was the first of the signs of the populist movement with the Republican Party, saying we want changes to the status quo. The incumbents are a problem. They're not doing what the people want. And then when they went to the Bernie Bros, well, the Dems screwed the Bernie Bros, and then a lot of those guys switched to Trump, and guess what? They've been pretty pleased with it. That's why we have a 72 to 76% favorability rating right now with Trump. And here's the thing: if these guys can keep telling us, these guys could keep telling us, oh, they don't listen to the people, but Ollie is absolutely right. Hunter and Bam here would be what you call the bourgeoisie back in the day. They're not listening to the proletariat, right? They're sitting here making all these people mad. They're not listening to what the voters want. They think they're uppity. They think they know better than the common man because they're educated. You know, and most of these people here that are saying this, I don't know about Hunter and Bam, but most of these people that are sitting here saying it aren't really, but like maybe they're college educated, but it's community college or fucking University of DeVry. Like, it's crazy. I have a degree from like a major fucking D1 fucking university with a presidential library and a massive research center, right? I'm sitting here saying this.
And 2 doctorates.
And 2 doctors and pretty educated. So I'm sitting here saying these things going, okay, I feel like education is one thing, but y'all have been brainwashed to sit here and go, oh, we know better. Let's push this policy. And then y'all go, oh, surprise, Pikachu face, when everybody goes against y'all. And y'all just won't listen. Prime has been saying this for years. Prime openly says, hey, get these people out. They're corrupt. Y'all, people are seeing the corruption. Y'all put a system in place and people are upset about it. And I'm like happy that y'all are paying the price on the libs, right? Because y'all enabled these pan-Arab socialists and the normal socialists to get in here and push this agenda. Now, whether or not that's a good agenda is a whole different subject, but whenever y'all sit here, y'all don't get the right to bitch whenever they're pushing what the people want and you're not, and then they vote you out. That's cool. That's what voting's for. That's why they're here, is you vote for the people you want. Those people fight for the policy they want, and if they don't get accomplished, then they push them to other people to vote in other districts. And I guess what y'all really just don't like is democracy and constitutional republicanism. That's what y'all are really bitching about, and that's why y'all put the system entrenched to sit here and keep people down. And that's what I was saying right there. Thank you.
So we'll go to Lactoid.
You sound like him.
No.
You sound like Gibbs, Ali. That's it.
Yeah, but we're arguing the same points from different sides.
It's called being dissatisfied with your party, right?
Yeah, we'll go to.
It's called being dissatisfied with your party. It's what it sounds like. It's kind of a universal feeling.
Who were called out, you will get
pretty happy now,
right? After our friend Lactoid goes, you'll get your chance to respond. Lactoid.
I want to engage with my friend counterpoints here for just a second. When you asked the question, where was the line? I understand why you are asking that question. And I think that's especially telling that you would ask the question because you are somebody who broke with your party because you found that a particular candidate from that party was too detestable or too extreme or too far beyond the pale. So much so that in your analysis that the Democratic candidate was better, right, was less extreme. And so you're sort of trying to gauge, well, where is the line for everybody else? Like, do the Democrats have this line? And Connor, I don't think that they do. I mean, you're talking about the people who endorse Plattner over Collins. We're talking about Plattner over Collins. Collins, who is one of the most moderate Republicans, who voted, I didn't know this, in 2024, voted against Republicans and unity votes more than half the time. You have somebody who is not afraid to stand up and vote against the Republicans, and they were in favor of Graham Plattner. I don't think that. I think
Where's the pulse on the sleeve?
I think you are.
Policies. I don't know if they would.
Yeah, I think you are missing. Hold on.
No matter how many rapes, Lactoid, you have to vote blue no matter who.
I think, Ali's joking a little bit, but I do think that this is the underlying philosophy, and I think that they're not. I think you just need to recognize that, I suppose. That's the first thing. The second thing here is you brought up, when Republicans get power, you feel vindicated because, when Trump and the Republicans and other Republicans get elected, they wield power, I guess, in bad ways or evil ways. I think that if you take a step back, there's a lot of specific policies where this just simply isn't true, and it's easy to get caught up, I think, in specific controversies in which Trump is the center or other Republicans are the center of, and then hyperfixate on that. Just today, Massachusetts is now the 10th state, blue state, that has removed all gestational limits for abortion, allowing abortion all the way up until the day of birth, potentially. The 10th state. Now, Connor, I know you're pro-life. These people will do evil things if they get into power.
Christ.
Sorry, go ahead.
You're making Connor
regret I'm sorry for interrupting. Go ahead.
No, that was the end of it. I'm saying these people will do evil things when they get into power. And they care a lot about getting into power. They're not going to make decisions like you make.
See, Tom's the only one that didn't give a line.
As a counter argument, though, I think there are liberals who you can say that they're improperly motivated. You can say they're motivated by spite, vindictive nature, et cetera, et cetera. But Destiny, Wick, Hutch, I think those are the main characters. Mooten, I know, is a Destiny orbiter or whatever, but they are taking an incredible amount of online political flack right now because they're saying, no, Trump is on the way out. The emergency threat that would make us vote for Plattner over Collins is shifting. And so after the midterms, we need to start doing this calibration of, do we strangle the DSA in the crib now, or do we let them effectively gain 30 to 40% of the party? And this is a real fight that they're having. So while I think that you can say
they're definitely
that
Hutch is still blue.
A shitload,
Hutch is still blue no matter who.
Not quite done yet. A shitload of people are going to be with the PSCO, IRI, vote blue no matter who caucus or whatever. I think probably even Hunter might say, hey, there's actually a moderate Republican versus a ardent socialist, and despite my affiliation for the Democratic Party, I will pick a moderate Republican over an ardent socialist. And I don't just want to say, fuck you, Hunter, you don't exist. Because that's what a lot of people said to me. They said, fuck you, you don't exist during 2024.
But that's not true. I literally had this argument with North literally yesterday, who's basically your mini-me, and he was like, I'll pick Madami over Rubio if they ran for president. So this is fake news. Like that's more representative.
That doesn't say anything.
I think North is young and more radical than he actually is.
Here, let's ask Hunter right here. Hunter. Okay, let me ask Hunter since he's up next anyway. Would you vote for, let's say, Marco Rubio?
Collins over?
I would assume pretty moderate, right? Over AOC, someone who endorses the DSA candidates.
Not AOC. I wouldn't choose AOC, but I could hold on. But I could easily find. I would say easily Rubio over Hong though, and it does depend on the specific situation. Let me clarify. Sorry, I wrote down a lot about my line here, so I really want to clarify. Firstly, it really depends on the type of election. Like if we're talking about Congress, governor, wherever, I have voted for libertarians over Democrats because they were in my local city council and I wanted to liberalize zoning. That to me mattered a lot because they were in my city council. It depends, like president, whatever. Let me just read what I wrote. I don't have a specific line, but I think that having an election denier in charge of a swing state in terms of Wisconsin and who Hong is up against, I can't let that happen. But if Hong were in a bluer state and was up against a moderate Republican, I would do it unquestionably. Either of those two were to happen, I would vote against Hong easily.
Well, doesn't Marco Rubio also like go with Trump on the whole?
I don't think he's an election denier. I don't know. I haven't seen it. And if he did, then that would be. I
think you kind of have to be part of the.
That's what I'm saying. You kind of have to be.
Sure. And maybe Rubio. Wait, hold on. And if it were Collins versus Hong, it wouldn't be a choice. Like I wouldn't think about that. I want to be clear.
I want
to be clear. I want to be clear.
Like make it simpler.
What?
I was saying back in 2016, Rubio was like a never Trump Republican. So if there was a character like that,
100%.
I think Thomas Massey.
Rubio is not a good example,
but he's principled.
I can't hear all of you guys. I'm gonna just power through because
I would. You should have said Thomas Massey over Rubio.
Thomas Massey's a good one, actually.
Not because he's conservative, but Massey's principled. I can't.
I don't like Massey at all.
I think I would take Rubio over Massey.
I would in a second.
I would take Massey over Rubio. Wow.
I would take Massey over.
I would take
Rubio
over Massey.
I just don't. Like, I think when push comes to shove, you will get in line.
He's more conservative, though.
Me?
No, all of you. I think when push comes to shove, at the end of the day, you will get in line and you will.
Don't apply that to me.
Wait, hold on. Let me clarify.
I'll bet money. Besides Brian and Ali. Those are the only two. With the rest of you,
no. You can't apply that to me. You can't apply that to me.
It's still my turn. First off, Lactoid, Prime and Ollie are the shove. They shove unquite. Like if push comes to shove, like anyway. Sorry. Let me be super clear. Lactoid said I would prefer Plattner. Okay, I want to be super clear about my position because Connor wasn't here for this. I said it was a coin flip between the two. And let me be really clear about what I meant there. I care way more about policy issues than like ethical considerations. And to me, I was looking at Colin's platform and I would Plattner's platform, and I would compare that to Hong's platform. And I do think that Plattner is a distinctly better candidate. I think that abolishing police and abolishing prisons is fucking deranged. And having a governor in charge of that freaks the fuck out of me. I also think that an election denier in a swing state also matters a lot.
Hunter's in favor of the 10 million, Tom, by the way. That's
okay. That's about my position. Connor, does that clear things up? Do you have any? Okay.
No, it's going to make sense.
Tom and then Bam. And anyone else afterwards? Okay.
Wait, hold on. So Collins over Hong? That's what you'd say, Hunter?
Collins over Hong, yes. It's weird.
For any role, for governor, Senate, anything
governor,
like that?
unquestionably. Senate, probably still, yeah.
Okay.
Tom.
So I've been fighting like the DSA people for the last couple of months, and I've been fighting them, for my entire career as a streamer, the socialist, the communist. I don't think that there's any reason to believe that I would get in line as somebody who also left the Republican Party when Donald Trump came in and moved towards Democrats. The fact that I'm on Blue no matter who, because it is a movement that is the idea is to stop Trump. The idea of Blue no matter who is to stop Trump and stop what it is he's doing. Currently, yes, I would say vote for these DSA candidates because I think that they're more likely to vote against what it is that Trump is doing and more likely to vote against what it is that he's in favor of. But in the long run, once Trump is out of office, if they went in favor, moved towards somebody like Rubio, and in my party continued moving in this more socialist DSA direction, I would almost definitely be back in this in the middle sort of direction.
Yeah. Once we get the free healthcare and the free college, you got to go back to red, baby. Fuck yeah.
That is true. Thank you.
Y'all be in the nest.
Just this one more hit, and then I'm done with cocaine. One more, and then I'm done.
With that said,
just one.
With that said,
one more spin.
One more titty, baby. I'm sorry.
with that said, it's absolutely fucking brain dead to keep repeating that this is what the people want. You guys don't understand. This is what the people want. The entire time that the socialists have been upset with the liberals in office, for us to just keep repeating, "Oh, sorry, socialists, this is what the people want," instead of arguing with you guys about what it is that's best or what it is that's going to be beneficial, how to win elections.
How about earn our vote?
But this is what the people want.
How about earn our vote?
Like,
you know,
earn our vote. You're the one saying ignore the voters.
Just earn our vote.
Yeah. Ignore the voters.
Hold on.
You're using
Ignore the voters, but please keep voters. You're stupid. Come vote for me. I'm smart guy. I know what I do. I know politics. You don't know politics.
I'm obviously using your arguments against you.
What we're talking about.
Yeah,
that's literally what we're
we
talking
understand
about.
that. Earn our vote. Yes, you should earn the votes. Sorry, go ahead.
Hold on. This is what we're talking about though, is that like when we say earn their vote, that's a joke because that's what it is that people like Hassan kept saying about
a joke. I don't get why you guys think it's a joke.
No, but it is because
he's referring to bad actors that utilize the same technique.
It's
okay.
No, it's a joke because if we keep saying we don't like these candidates, we're not in favor of them, and we're more likely to go vote for somebody else. You do this. Oh, you don't think the voters know what they want. Oh, you're against the voters. Blah blah blah. But it's literally the same thing that the socialists have been saying for a long time while the liberals have been in fucking power. It's literally the same exact fucking thing. But you thought you knew better than everybody else, and you kept pushing for your platform.
Tom, I understand what you're saying. Okay, no, that's fair, right? Yeah, that is what they were saying. But like that, then you finally move over to my position because so you're talking about like your career of fighting the DSA, right? Fighting the good fight against the socialists. Okay, good. All right. Well, I've been having fighting the good fight against people like you, people like Hunter, people like Bam, right?
Yeah.
I've been fighting the entire time, and during that fight,
Riddell
right,
too, you get thrown with
saying,
this.
Vote blue no matter who. That's what you've been saying to me, right? You've been saying during the fucking last election. You guys told me vote blue no matter who.
I clarified this like 1,000
so you gotta
times.
do it, right? You gotta vote blue no matter who.
No, it
right?
is what
and
you got.
Said,
Come on.
Hey, earn my
Practically
vote.
speaking.
Yeah, so I'm glad.
I say it, but I think that means
I can
that for
clarify
Democrats.
it, but this is not. The
I
case.
am MAGA lose no matter what is my motto.
So
I just said I'm still on blue no matter who.
Exactly. So hold on, no. You're being schizophrenic with your position here, right? Is it vote blue no matter who, right? Or is it earn your vote?
In the current political world,
vote blue no matter who, you don't have to own their vote, right?
Prime,
it doesn't matter. As soon as they're a Democrat, as soon as they're the nominee, then they get your
I
vote.
just explained it, Prime. I just said that the vote blue no matter who is there to beat Trump. That's the point of it. And while Trump is still in office, yes, it is.
No,
yes, it is. It came about. Hold on. Vote blue no matter who started with Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders and the Bernie Bros, where they say Bernie or bust. We said vote blue or no matter who, because we need to beat fucking Trump. It came about Trump, and because of the fucking Bernie Bros. Once Trump is gone,
Bernie would have beat Trump so bad.
Once Trump is gone, we'll never bring it up again.
Bernie would have beat Trump so bad. He had Joe Rogan on his fucking.
And you can vote for JD. We don't care. Just
he had Joe Rogan on his jock at that time.
It's still vote blue no matter.
This is the dumbest shit.
It may be the phrase itself like came from maybe that moment in time. That might be true. I actually am not sure, right? So you might be correct there, right? But the sentiment, right, of hey, you got to get behind the party, you have to get behind the Democrats. Yeah, that's a lot fucking older. That's a lot. No, it's not.
Let me clarify.
Let me clarify. Always an emergency. Every single time,
I agree with his outcome.
And I can't possibly get with the thing that you want, right? Every time, next time, voters. But today, but you see, hey, John McCain is an existential threat, right? Mitt Romney is an existential threat. George W. Bush is an existential threat. All of them are existential threats, right?
The next Republican candidate will be existential
and then after Trump, it'll be someone else.
And the one after that. And the one after that.
And the one after that.
Yes, exactly.
Get rid of and the one before that too.
And that Gibbs,
the one before and
they did the same thing to Republicans.
Was John McCain
on fighting for abortion?
Because he didn't win
anti-abortion legislation, right? It was always at some point.
I think people were just excited about
it. Hold on, Galactoid and Gibbs. Hopefully, you guys can agree with me. Like because like on the national level. Previously, right? On putting pro-life legislation, right? It was always next time for that group that really mattered. It was always next time, but now they're actually pushing for it now in this moment, right? They're doing what their base wanted. Actually, it matters, and the people who push it aside because it's politically inconvenient for them at the time, they're gone. Or they've been broken, they've been cowed, and now they do what they're told, right? Actually, that's the way politics should go. Right? The politicians should do what we say, not the other way around.
Okay.
Bullshit.
Let me be.
Also,
I didn't like McCain when he ran.
I want to go.
I was a Republican when that was happening.
I want
I
voting for Trump.
I want to take a different. I want to take a different approach.
I wanted Huckabee over
I want to
McCain
take a different approach.
or Romney.
I feel like I go
was too
crazy
young.
every time I have the vote blue, no matter who conversation. Because here's what it feels like. It feels like I'm going. I love my family, and I'm going to stick with them no matter what. And I say that out loud. And then my mom and dad come to me and they go, "Okay, guess what we just did? We adopted baby Hitler." And I go, I don't know if I stand by that.
He's a socialist, so
I don't know if I stand by that. I actually don't think. I think baby Hitler. I have now redefined what my family meant because it changed. And then these sort of concepts happen. Obviously, when we said vote
Israel's
no
the new Nazi Germany.
we weren't fucking talking about the 1840s. Absolutely. Okay. Obviously, I would vote for Abraham Lincoln in the 1860s. Like it's crazy. There's this term called reification where we take these conceptual ideas and we turn them into fucking objects. The Democratic Party shifts, and if it shifts to a place that I no longer recognize it, then it's not the same party I was talking about in 2018 when I said
what
vote
about
blue
when
no matter
I
who.
don't vote for Kamala Harris, and then you
Well, that's because you're retarded, not because you don't.
Yeah, see, that's how that works. That's how it works.
Hold on. No.
That's how it works.
Fuck you. That's exactly how it works, right?
Don't let him piss you off, Prime, but that's how it works.
Everyone shut up. Everyone shut up. No, fuck you. Right? Exactly. This is what, you guys have no principles. I give you.
Wait, what?
Well, are you surprised the left doesn't have principles? They get rid of all their moral standards every time. Like they're like, the right's the one that's like morals.
Wait, Prime. I don't even understand what
That's
hilarious.
Moral standard. Because I put
Prime,
you
I
to
don't
the
get what
test.
you're saying.
I'm like, hey, what about a child rapist? So you pretend like, oh, baby Hitler would be too far for you. I give you, hey, if there's one candidate who promises to rape one less child than another candidate, who are you going to vote for? Oh, I'll guess the slightly
that's not my position.
What's your position on that?
Well, Tom,
I've said multiple times.
Don't bullshit.
Do you not vote in that situation?
I don't vote in that situation.
I will not be gassed.
Well, that's why he didn't vote.
Excuse me.
That's why he didn't vote.
I know, and that's because he's.
Excuse me. You're gonna shut the fuck up. I promise.
I'm talking to Ollie, but go ahead.
I promise you're gonna shut the fuck up right now. I promise you it's gonna happen. Shut the fuck up. No, don't tell me I haven't sat here for years, right? Being attacked by people like you. Don't tell me that, right? And then these are the exact same excuses you have used. Right? Don't tell me that. And then you're like, oh, you're fucking stupid. No, I said, hey, earn the vote. If you're on that wavelength now, that's okay. Great. That's where you always should be, right? Kamala Harris didn't earn my vote, right? Okay. That's what happened. She didn't do it, right? She was disgusting.
Well, he's not being serious about earn the vote.
No, hold on. No, sorry. They don't play like that with me. Shut up. Don't play like that with me. Fuck you. Because I've been here the entire time, right? Actually, fuck you, Hunter.
Okay.
Now respond.
I won't do it. No, sorry. Don't tell them. Don't stop. Everyone shut up. No. Don't fucking play with me like that. Fuck you. Because I remember. I've been here the entire time, right? And you guys and people just like you have done it. So I'm not going to let you rewrite history. It won't happen on my watch. Go ahead.
I'll never let you forget it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I think that there's some fair conversations to be had. I want to be super clear here that when Prime says, my issue with Kamala is that she is throwing bombs at Palestinians and that she's essentially just writing blank checks to Israel so that they can go in and then just skewer Palestinian children and rape their bodies, their dead corpses. And Trump is going to do the same thing. I would also not vote in that situation. The problem is, I don't think you live on planet Earth. I think that your assessment of the situation is fundamentally broken and wrong in a disturbing way. So I would obviously say that if your premises were correct, you would logically come to a situation where I would go, yeah, it would be completely fucked for anyone to vote for Kamala. I would agree with you. I have issues with your premises.
Yeah,
but I don't know if we want to get into Palestine.
No, yeah, hold on. We don't have to get into it, right? But like just like the last time, what Hunter does in these situations, you just say, "Oh, your premises are bad, right? Oh, it's it's more complex, so you don't understand." He condescends to you. Again, this is what Gibbs is saying. Gibbs is saying was exactly this.
I'm the bourgeoisie.
Bring up the bourgeoisie.
No,
do it.
Fuck you. No, that's what I'm saying.
No, the Zoom worked.
Actually, because I've been studying this issue for the entire time of the genocide, right? And you haven't put anything right? I don't want anything out there to contravene these points. And instead, right,
Hold on.
you just
I've done
condescend.
multiple Palestine
Say,
debates
oh, your
here.
premises are wrong. I can't actually argue with you.
You've done a lot of.
it's
It's kind of complicated. I don't
think it's
know.
more complex than you understand. When you do not have even close to knowledge on this subject that I do. You don't. Because you don't care. We both know you don't care.
It seems like
you
you're
both know you're
condescending to
fucking
me right
riffing
now.
on this. So don't bullshit me. It won't happen. I won't let you gaslight me. But that's okay. Look, we don't have to get into it, right? We have a different subject. We can move on. We can have the conversation. We'll definitely land on Israel some other time. That's for certain.
Am I Mussolini
but
here?
we don't
I'm
have
trying to
do it
figure that
now.
out.
We can go to our friend Bam.
That looks
Unless-
pretty
sorry.
good. Hold on, that's a good picture of me.
Okay, sorry,
actually,
Bam.
Dude, AI is
Yeah.
crazy.
So
I know. It's like shit. That looks good.
Bro, I got the prompts and I can make these in like 20 seconds now. It's amazing.
That's pretty cool. I think that
Which platform do you use?
Fuck our drinking
Grok.
water.
I think
Grok.
that
Oh please.
I think that people should vote for Democrats because they're better, and I think that the Republican Party.
I agree.
I think the Republican Party doesn't have any current moderates. Like if you say, like, oh, you would vote for a moderate Republican, like who? Josh Hawley. Josh Hawley has no principles. Josh
Who's
Hawley,
saying fucking Josh Hawley is the moderate Republican?
who is the moderate?
I
the
brought up
moderate
Susan
Republican?
Collins.
He was just
for-
using that as an example.
Yeah.
He was just
Yeah, it's a
using that.
terrible
Collins?
example.
Susan Collins hasn't voted no on any important piece of Republican legislation at a time that it mattered.
We
The only
literally
time-
brought
the only
up
time you-
Rubio. We said Rubio.
She'll
Rubio's
vote against
one of the
Republicans
worst
decent
examples.
amount.
No, I'm saying Susan Collins. You have to pay attention. Is the duties and the details. Susan Collins doesn't vote no. Susan Collins votes no. She withholds her vote until she's sure that they have enough votes to pass whatever they want to pass, and then she'll vote no. To put a little check mark against her, but she doesn't actually vote no in cases where they don't have the votes. Like she voted no to Todd Blanche's AG. She didn't make that. She didn't come out and make an opinion at all on how she was voting for Todd Blanche for AG until they were sure that the Republicans had the votes. Once they had 50, then she was like, "Oh yeah, I'll vote no." Now that it's actually irrelevant. But if they needed her vote, she absolutely would have been there, 1,000%. Rubio sucks Trump's dick every day, and he's a completely unprincipled man himself. Like I don't care what he said prior to MAGA. Once he bent the knee and became MAGA, now it's like, oh, okay, you can't be the moderate. You can't. You allow Trump to get away with the things you get. You're not the moderate. You're not.
Wait,
you're unprincipled.
Bam,
Yeah, calling Rubio the moderate is like calling JD Vance the moderate.
Wait, no. I have a clarifying question.
But the DSA aren't moderates either.
Wait, I have a clarifying question.
I'm not talking about
Are
DSA
you
now.
saying
I'm just about
that
parties.
moderate Republicans don't exist, or are you saying
No,
they don't
I'm saying there's
currently
not.
No, they do
hold power
exist.
Congress,
in the
yeah.
Republican
MAGA is moderate.
Yeah,
They're
like
center
that.
right.
Because I think
moderate
Adam
Bam,
Kissinger-
I don't fucking care. I'm asking.
Yeah,
Bam.
I think Adam Kissinger
We know you don't care because you don't like facts.
was a moderate Republican.
Gotcha.
And-
What if Adam Kissinger was against Hong?
Yeah, I vote for him.
Hold on. Wait, you're saying you're Kinzinger, right?
Yeah.
How convenient.
Vote against the Republican goes the other person.
How convenient.
Yeah, someone who's not antagonistic to Trump. Yes.
Yes, somebody who'll just vote Democrat and endorse the Democrat.
Super
Yes.
chat from
that was his voting record,
DT. They say the cow herding redhead and the guy in the middle should start a mumble rap band. Don't be fired. So I guess that's me. Mumble rap? Am I been mumbling? I don't know why. I've never listened.
You're
to
clearly
mumble
not loud enough, Prime. Clearly,
I'm not. I haven't been enunciating enough, right?
I think it's the way you say "shut the fuck up." You just say it as like it's one word.
Oh, maybe that
You're
maybe.
quite-
I've said so much that it probably has melded into one thing. That's fair. I'll take that then. But thank you.
You
for
got
the
a big tongue, boy.
Euro. Yeah, euro. I always get the thing for the symbol for euro and pound mixed up because they both look E's to me. And I always think they're euros.
they're both not American money.
They're
It's all
both not
fake
American money.
Yeah,
but I'll take it. But thank you so much. Thank you for the kindness. Okay. So
But they do have free healthcare, so we'll take their money too. You know, they have so much free healthcare they can give Prime their money. You know,
yeah,
because they outsource the military to us. That's why they have free healthcare.
They don't want the type of free healthcare you want.
Has anybody's opinion shifted at all on what they think about the value of the party system or caucus system? Like, do we understand why we do it? Even if you,
I think it's working as intended. man. You just don't like.
Yeah, we
like literally earlier you were bitching about Fetterman, who's like a moderate dim, right? Like you're sitting here bitching about Fetterman, like, and you're going, oh well, we should all vote blue no matter who, except for whatever. Well, except when Republicans do that with Massey, you're like, look at this bastards over here, they're all MAGA dick sucks. Like, but it's crazy when we're like, this guy's got to go. He's not representing modern Republicanism, and then you're over here doing the same thing with Fetterman, bitching. It's crazy how y'all do this. It's called double speak and a double standard.
No, it would be one thing if Fetterman was like living up to what he ran on. Like he's a shell of
which was common sense. He's living up to common sense. That's what he ran on.
Like he like
pro-Israel common sense.
Didn't he like have like a brain injury and now he's like a different person?
Yeah, he saw God and saw he was going down.
Biden had a brain injury.
Biden,
that's an interesting take.
And Biden was starting to make
multiple aneurysms.
Brain injuries, support for Israel.
I don't think
more sane than Trump.
I don't think the most recent one was then.
If Biden had a brain injury, it made him even more
right.
based.
People don't like.
It made him more based. Yeah,
right?
fair.
Like, the media
working
did a very
through the
bad
struggle.
Job.
Respect him.
The media did a very bad job of vetting John Fetterman. John Fetterman has had these positions, most of these positions previously, and I believe this is before the aneurysm, right? And someone can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't mean to spread information, right? But he was working with AIPAC beforehand. He asked AIPAC, "Hey, send me a policy position, all right? I'll just sign on to that." Before the aneurysm. Again, if I'm wrong, then someone please correct me. Let's go to comments.
No, that's exactly what I was going to say. So hold on. Well, I was going to say, I think people legitimately have like a deranged mentality when it comes to Fetterman. Both the Republicans who are saying that he's actually MAGA and the Democrats who are saying he's actually a Republican, you're both wrong. Like his voting record is 91% Democrat, and his breaks with the Democratic Party have been over two things. They've been over Israel and opening the government over ICE. Besides that, he has a 91% voting record for Democratic policy. And not just that, as a comparison to see how often a moderate Republican voted with the Democrats, Rubio voted with the Democrats 10 to 15% of the time during his time as senator. So pretending that Fetterman is not a Democrat just because he sims for Israel is fucking bananas.
Well, I think
he is a Democrat.
Collins has similar.
Most people, when they're referring to Fetterman, they're referring to primarying him out versus
using
anything.
Stats,
and then also going like
stats that are from before the. Wait, just real quick.
Oh yeah.
You're using stats from before the brain injury. Like if you use stats after the brain injury, it is a bit more lopsided. I agree that he still votes with the majority with Democrats, but he is. And to be fair, the other person who's voting, I don't remember exactly, but I was going to say Warnock and John Ossoff are two people who actually vote with Republicans and break party lines. I think more than anybody, and they're two of the most popular Democrats.
They are amazing.
So, it is
for the center, right?
Yeah, but
right?
Those are for the center for the fucking senators. By
the thing about
I don't but like,
do
you think it's funny that the most popular like senators are the ones who vote with the Republicans the most for the moderates in the middle versus like you guys are terrified of socialists, but you guys keep saying that MAGA is the big fight. If they keep voting for the right not most of the time, but like
they went in a conservative.
Ossoff is popular because of himself,
they're the most popular with the socialists.
Yeah, their populist messaging really resonates with the left.
Yes,
100%.
Correct.
I wouldn't consider John Ossoff or Fetterman populist. They're working class, but they're
absolutely
like
not.
They're messaging.
I'm not sure about Ossoff, but like absolutely not Fetterman.
Not Fetterman.
Not Fetterman. Ossoff and
Ossoff or Warnock. I don't consider either of them.
Oh, sorry, Warnock. I don't know about Warnock either. Yeah, I don't have enough insight into what Warnock.
Also, Warnock is very
cool last name. That gets him 10 points.
Well, hold on. What's really interesting? Hold on. You said something really interesting about Fetterman. He votes 91%. You know how often Cornyn voted with the Trump agenda? 67%.
No.
So whenever y'all were saying no, hold on. Cornyn was not. I'm just looking up on PolitiFact.
It's 99%.
I just did. That's what I only know that because I just looked it up. Right. And so
you turn that.
Okay. Why don't you guys?
Well, the point that I made, there's a difference here. There's a difference between, and just to be clear, Gibbs, there's a difference here between unity votes and non-unity votes. So when you look at, like, believe it or not, there's actually a shit ton of just bills that are pretty inconsequential that both Republicans and Democrats vote together
Sure.
on. And so when you look at that, the rates are actually very high among both
Well, yeah,
parties.
it's like 99%.
But
that's
but
what
when
I'm
you
talking about.
look at, so for example, like in 2024, Susan Collins on unity votes actually voted against the Republicans more than she voted with them, right? And so on the actual votes that were contentious,
Well,
she was
that was my
more
point.
against, yeah. And then so yeah, when you look at the unity votes, you're going to see actually who are the real outliers here. And you see people like Rubio, you see people like Collins, and
Cornyn is one of them, and that's why he got booted. I mean, and like when y'all say this, though, it's funny because I sit here and hear this argument about like, oh, we're reasonable Republicans regularly, right? Like, oh, these guys out. So I'm going to start doing that. Fetterman's a reasonable Democrat, right? He's trying to escape the social. Like, y'all see how this argument is like it's so stupid. It's like the party has moved. Like y'all's party has moved
Cornyn's
further
voting
left.
record with Trump. He has a 99% alignment on issues.
I got one right here. I don't know. Google AI says 67% with Trump.
Is it
so.
unity vote or is it
the Heritage
non-unity
Action
vote?
Committee, whatever.
Yeah, we have to disambiguate that. But thank you for giving. I didn't know the term unity.
Yeah, you're
vote,
talking
so
about
I'm gonna use that in the
lifetime
future. Thank
versus
you so
under
much.
under Trump.
You're
you're talking
that
about
might
since
be
he's been in
different too.
Congress. Those are two different numbers. Or
I just want to get these
since
super
he's been
chats
sitting in
in
the Senate. I'm
very
sorry.
quickly. No problem, friend. So super chat from Starch Manning. Again, thank you for the kindness for $10. He says the top federal margin income tax for the United States was 91%. Also, I've never met a MAGA who understands marginal tax rates. Also, no one moved out of New York. Also, tax the rich. Oh my God, you're so beautiful. We love you. I love you. They don't love you. They hate you. But I love you. Thank you so much.
I hate
for that.
taxing the rich.
And then Starch Manning, thank you for another $2. Says 91% in 1963, expanding on one of the previous. Yeah, thank you for that. Top marginal tax rates. Well, I don't. It's a distraction. I'm actually curious what your
I am
position on
opposed to
taxing the rich are.
taxation.
Well, of course. Well,
I mean, he's a
fair enough.
libertarian.
But I'm not sure about Hunter. But like,
it is theft.
You don't know my position.
It doesn't surprise me that the same people who
I
put
don't know your position.
people in camps also want to take money. Makes total sense. The Nazis did both at the same time.
Yeah. So, but anyway, Connor. Yeah, I think you saying. Oh, I don't know what other leftists say. Like people say stuff online. I can't be responsible for what they say. But like for Fetterman, no, Fetterman, he looks like a Democrat to me. Absolutely, yeah. Democrats suck Israel's cock all the time, right? He is a cocksucker of Israel. So yeah, not a surprise, right? He seems to be voting in line in that case, right? Like and also what I've always said is that for when we're talking about corporate Democrats, just like he is, and their positions from Republicans aren't very far, right? So even if like tomorrow he decides, oh, I'm going to move to the Republican Party, he was talking about, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that like he was saying, oh, you know, these types like Mamdani enough, like if they keep moving left, then I don't have a place in this party, right? Yeah, fuck off. It makes perfect sense. Corporate Democrats have much more in common with Republicans. And we've seen it here today, right? These centrists are saying, well, yeah, these lefties, if it just keeps moving left, I'm just going to have to vote for Republican. Because as we've always been saying, is that, yes, they would always prefer a Republican than the left. They don't like us. They hate us. We don't have the same goals, right? And so
because they're fascists.
Yeah, and to be clear, we don't want corporate Democrats.
You would also
the
prefer
Republicans and the
Cut a
like
liberal
you
and a
said, the
fascist,
uniparty, right? The Republicans and Democrats.
How do you guys
very
like
much
it?
like Democrats, just like gay people, just a tiny bit better than Republicans. So yeah, it makes perfect sense. Yeah, he's a Democrat.
I don't know.
That's why-
When Republican
that's why the
conventions
Congress went
happen,
from Bernie to
Grindr
Trump.
gets a lot of use. I think they do.
Grindr does get a lot of use. In reality, Republicans love a lot of different things. I'll be honest.
Including
I just
cock.
don't know how we can make that claim in the big 2026 with the current construction of the Republican Party. Like I don't see the utility of making that claim right now.
Which claim?
What's the point of the what's the point of the messaging and the rhetoric utilizing being very antagonistic
which claim
to
are you
Trump?
talking about? Just want to be sure.
What claim? Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. Again.
That Democrats and Republicans are the fucking same.
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
Someone, Prime, you asked me my position on taxing the rich. Can
Yeah,
I
sure.
clarify? If anyone's interested. I really like taxing the rich. I feel like it's a really good policy. Usually that universal health care is, we need a broad middle-class tax as well in order to substantially raise enough taxes. I think that I think that wealth taxes are fucking stupid, and that often a lot of the proposals by California, by Bernie and such, are not effective policies at all. I like VAT taxes. I like property taxes. I like Pigovian taxes. I like carbon taxes. I like land value taxes. All that shit is dope, and we should be doing more of those.
I hate when we say tax the rich.
Very quick question, and I'm not trying to like make this the topic, right?
Yeah.
Very quickly, right? So would you create new tax brackets, new marginal tax brackets at the top for like billionaires? This is what I've always said, to be clear. I've always said that, like, you know, we shouldn't be charging someone who's making $100,000 or $250,000, right, the same we charge like Jeff Bezos. So we should have additional tax brackets, and then from there tax the upper ones. Would you be in favor of such a thing?
I would rather just increase the amount of taxation on the highest decile, but like I also think that that's like income taxes are like somewhat like not the smartest ways to tax the billionaires, but like sure, largely so. Yeah, that would be good.
You'd be fine with that. Okay, all right.
Yeah,
well, then,
I just like not ideal.
I just
policy,
want to think
like,
I say that like the tax the rich stuff get like the reason it gets bogged down, and the reason is it gets attached. One is populism. Populism is the root of all this evil that's going on in my country. I want that rooted out above anything else. But the big issue
that's not going away, Bam. I'm sorry, that's not going on.
I'll fight for it to my dying breath. The biggest thing that happens with the tax the rich stuff is it gets too much associated with emotions and punishment. And that just like we have to get away from that energy.
Like eat the rich.
Yeah.
Either
like billionaires shouldn't exist. It's really stupid.
It just needs to get attached to like
billionaires shouldn't exist.
This is the thing.
It's a pretty
okay,
stupid.
I'm just gonna finish.
At least not while people can't afford their rent.
We need to get away from.
I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry, Bam.
No, you're fine. Because
it's not either or. It's so stupid.
We just need to get away from the idea of that, and we just need to get towards the idea of raising revenue for the things that we want to fund. Just advocate for something good and say that, like, oh yeah, this is going to require some tax revenue, and these are the methods that we come to do that. Like people want these like to tax these people, but they don't even know like in general what that it's going toward. They just like, hey, if they have less, then I'm better.
Well, that's where the value of populist messaging actually is very intrinsic.
One of the biggest,
it's easy to understand when it comes down to voters. This is very core to Ollie's point of tax the rich, of billionaires bad. At the end of the day, the idea is like progressive tax policy that ensures we're putting more money into the governmental system. But how do you get people on board with that is the question. And the idea of breaking it down for these people is not as effective as just making some blanket claim of tax the billionaires.
So well, that's the problem is a
I have a nuanced take on, or I think it's nuanced. Maybe other people don't feel like it's nuanced, and that's fair. You might feel it differently. Okay. But like, there's a reason why I say billionaires shouldn't exist, right? And I've been consistent on this. I've said this for many years. The reason why billionaires shouldn't exist is because they have a massive concentration of wealth, right? And it works. And I always use the same metaphor, right? It works like a black hole, right? The more money you have, like the more gravity you have. When you reach a certain level of wealth, you simply warp the political space-time fabric around you. Everyone starts just obeying you to get more access to your money, right? Politicians do it, organizations do it, nonprofits do it. Everyone wants a piece of that money. It gives them an inordinate power within democracy. And so the reason why billionaires shouldn't exist, because when you have that level of wealth, it is poisonous to that democracy. And so people can be wealthy, right? People can be extravagantly wealthy, right? I would say millionaires can exist. Tens of millionaires, decamillionaires can exist, right? Centimillionaires can exist. But like the reason why I draw the line at billionaires, not because that number necessarily means like that much, like exactly 1 billion means anything, right? But that's an easy cutoff point. It's an easy way to message that, right? But yeah, at some point you have too much money, right? We can see that from like the tech billionaires, right? Who are like, I think lots of people here are not in favor of what they're in favor of. I think that's true across the party lines. Is that
who hears from Elon Musk?
With them. And so,
I think there's some
for Peter Thiel and Elon Musk and these Palantir, actually, they should not have that much power within our political realm through their money. That's why I believe that.
But I think that the only thing I'll say to that, Prom, is I think that like the issue is inflation is catching up to that number, and I think that it contradicts. I think it contradicts something else that like your politics would generally advocate for. Like I think you're big on workers owning the means of their own production, or just like not even in like a socialist way, but like in a co-op way. And the example I love to point to with this is the professional sports market. Like the ownership in professional sports makes the majority of the money, but there's athletes like LeBron has made $1 billion in his labor. Not forget about the shoe deals and stuff like that. Like the NBA contracts have increased to the point that his labor is actually worth $1 billion. So you're saying that like you actually want to extract his labor, like if he just happens to be in a business that makes a lot of money as a laborer. Like I know it's a new future. We didn't think we were going to get to a point that a worker would their value would be $1 billion plus, but we're entering that realm.
I think
okay, that might be interesting. I mean, no one's ever told me that like an individual sports player could like earn $1 billion, right? This is my first time hearing this concept.
Oh,
right?
for sure.
Yeah,
soccer's even worse.
Hold on, LeBron has $1 billion, but that's because he owns like sports teams.
No, if LeBron's value, again, I'm saying that like if there were no NBA owners, if LeBron was paid his his value to a thing, he would make a deal. And there's also like the current players are now. Wemby, I'm about to say also like forget about even with ownership, like Wemby is going to earn $1 billion. Wemby's already made his second year in the league. He got a $250 million contract. You times that by 4, that's $1 billion. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
it's definitely
I can
like
understand.
It's exceptional, but it definitely can happen, especially across all major sports.
This is so dumb.
So I don't.
He's not making a crazy claim.
So
I
don't know anything about this claim, right? So I'm just going to take your face value, right? Bam, I'm going to assume you're right. I don't know anything about sports. If that's the case, right? Yeah, I'm okay with those exceptional workers, like our friend Odell said, like taking a haircut, right? Okay, you've made up to $1 billion, but past this point, we're going to tax you at a 91% or whatever, 95% top marginal tax. You can still keep earning a little bit of money past that, right? But we're going to severely limit your ability to earn past that, right? Like this works for 99% of the rest of the population, more than 99%, right? 99.9% of the rest of the population, right? They'll be okay if they can't enter the second get a second billion. That'll be all right. I'll be okay with that sacrifice.
We'll be fine without
trillionaires. Hold on, you're gonna force them to like because you understand most of their wealth is not like money.
I gotta head out.
Okay, friend.
Scared.
Right,
Yeah,
like this is exactly the fucking problem with wealth tax.
Their wealth can be money. That's their like contracts. Like I'm saying that they.
No, I'm not talking about NFL. I'm not talking. He's talking about billionaires. Okay, I'm talking about like typical billionaires. We're talking about people who the reason why they're billionaires is because they own shares, like a significant amount of shares in some large company that has grown massively. And so
if not have an income.
That doesn't. Hold
on. If they ever sell, so they can't just like use that money, and if that because it's not money, it's value stock.
They just take a loan against the stock and not
which they gotta pay it back. They gotta pay it back. If you take a loan and then you got to pay back the loan. Yes, like you eventually like
no tax.
The rooster, no, you do because again the roosters will come home to roost. If you take a loan like $500, and then you have to pay back that loan of $500, like you pay back that loan with interest. You're going to have to liquidate if you spend that money. You're going to have to liquidate in order to. No, it is. What? Stop. No,
interest is the bank making more money that I took the loan from. Taxes is the
Ollie, listen. Listen. So if I loan you $500, you're wrong. If I loan you $500,
okay,
you spend that $500, right? Because we're assuming we're talking about people taking loans to spend on themselves. How do you pay me back?
The liquidity of the business.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have to.
I took the loan against my stocks. I took the loan against my stocks, and then
you took the loan against stocks.
My stocks appreciated. I let those.
Now it comes time. Now it comes time to pay me back, right?
To pay you off with my stocks.
Oh, and how do you do that?
The
Because I took
business
the
took
loan
in
against
money.
my
I'm taking it
stocks.
from like it's
Stop.
a business
Liquidate
loan.
your fucking
You
stock.
sell the
You don't
stock,
sell-
and then
no,
you
don't.
What are you talking
don't
about?
sell. Wait,
No,
hold
they
on.
just take
Hold on.
the
No,
stock.
they don't sell the stock.
They
No.
transfer the stock
You
over.
guys-
They took
They
the
transfer
loan.
the liquidity from
Hold
the
on.
business. They use business resources.
Hold on.
That's a taxable event.
Like, just hold on. I have a question.
Capital gains.
How much taxes proportionately do you think billionaires currently pay? Not corporations, billionaires.
What do you mean, like percentage or like?
Yes,
like a
You
amount?
talking about
billionaires.
income or what?
Income. Because you guys are saying that they don't have income.
Yeah,
they report very little income comparison
No.
to
Okay,
the lifestyle
dope.
they live.
We're talking. You are getting an idea of corporations, not billionaires. Those are distinct entities.
No, billionaires
Corporations. No, stop.
don't take
Corporations.
much income.
Corporations routinely.
How much
put
does
their-
Jeff Bezos make as an income a year?
His W-2.
So
I would guess.
Okay.
I would guess like $100 million. I don't know.
You
I
think
can throw out a
Jeff
number.
Bezos is?
He
you
pays
think-
himself $100 million and
hold
gets
on.
taxed
$100
on
million
that?
W2.
Let Hunter make his
hold on.
point.
How many fucking tax? We could check this information.
Yeah,
how much
check it because
taxes?
we're just
do you-
saying it's something stupid.
Okay.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
don't
I-
know things you don't know.
Yeah, I
someone
don't
else
know
called Hunter
exactly what
stupid.
you guys are trying to attack Ali and Bam
Yeah.
for. I'm be honest.
I'm not
In
exactly
2024, hold on. In 2024, Bezos sold roughly $13.6 billion worth of stock and paid an estimated $2.7 billion in federal income taxes on those gains. I can literally show you charts on this.
What's his income tax?
That's
That's
what
the,
the
like-
fuck? What do you
okay.
think he's doing here?
He's paying. Stop. He's paying taxes. I can show you
understand.
charts that show that America's tax system is highly progressive.
Yes.
Like the top 1% is paying a higher share of taxes than the share of money they're
I
making.
hate fucking talking economics with leftists. It pisses me the fuck off.
Bam isn't a leftist.
This is why.
Bam isn't a leftist.
Just
Bam is,
just-
I'm
just
not
pause,
gonna let you.
just
I'm not
pause.
gonna let you denigrate my
That's
baby
how
like
I
that.
feel
He's
when
not
I
a
talk with
leftist.
left-leaning
most
people.
people.
Democrat,
When it comes
whatever,
to
whatever.
economy stuff.
Anyone really. Here's my issue. Whenever we say billionaires shouldn't exist, it is a sloganification of something that's really difficult to understand. Not that difficult, but like whenever we're like billionaires just shouldn't exist, we should just have a one-time
'Cause I can't afford my
statewide
rent.
wealth tax in fucking California. What a dumbass policy.
Wait a
What
minute,
about
hold
the
on. That's not the
dumbest way that
position.
we
That's
can-
not the policy. That's not the policy.
What are you talking about?
Oh, sorry, hon. Even in the California policy, right?
Uh-huh.
That isn't to get rid of billionaires, right? That's a one-time tax of their wealth. That
Uh-huh.
isn't to make billionaires not exist. And the thing I
Okay, wait,
proposed
hold- no,
wasn't
no,
a
no.
one-time tax. So what are you
Okay,
talking about?
This is such a come on. That's so disingenuous. Do you disagree that the people who are advocating for that wealth tax would normally use slogans like "billionaires shouldn't exist"?
No, they do, but that policy doesn't accomplish that.
Okay, I agree because it's a sloganification, and you agree that like when you say billionaires shouldn't exist, you don't really mean billionaires as an arbitrary threshold, and at $999 million, it actually fine, but at 1,000 million. Now we're talking. Obviously, we're talking about taxing the rich without really having conversations about how taxation functions.
No,
What?
can I respond to what y'all like Todd and Hunter? What y'all said was stupid.
Yeah, go ahead.
Like, don't talk about things that I know. When
okay.
It says
Cook 'em, get 'em, Bam.
when a billionaire borrows against their stocks,
Uh-huh.
they don't typically sell their stocks to pay back these loans. They do one of two things. They take in cash dividends. They get cash dividends,
Which are
from their
taxed.
stocks. I'm just talking
How
about.
do they
You said
pay
they
their
sell their
chef?
stock. Wait a
How
minute.
do they pay for
There's
food?
three. Just shut up. And when you don't know what you're talking about, and let me listen. You said the wrong things. They either use the cash dividends that they receive from their businesses, or more commonly if the business is appreciated, they take out new stocks, pay back the old ones, and now they have new appreciated value.
What does it mean to take new
take out
stocks
new
and
loans.
pay back old ones? What does that
New
even
loans.
mean?
He meant new loans.
Yeah, to take out new loans. I'm sorry. Yes, they borrow a larger amount on their new appreciation, pay back the old loan, and continue it on into the future, paying zero taxes on it.
Okay,
they leave it until death, and they settle it as far as their estate.
Estate
Yeah,
taxes
and then they
are
pay
fucking tax
estate taxes are 40%. If you take out a loan to pay back another loan, we let you give your 3 points. First of all, dividends are taxed at regular income. You don't even get the preferred capital gains rate on those. So getting dividends from your stocks is not like a good tax strategy, actually. Second of all, taking out larger loans to pay back other loans, I guess you could do that, but this is simply kicking the can down the road. Again, eventually, you could do this now. There's people who do this now, and there have been times in which the roosters have come home to roost because Jeff Bezos did pay billions of dollars in taxes. And three, what was your third one again?
Estate taxes, which are
estate taxes, 40%. Which is 40%,
which should be higher by the
way. Of the business.
No, maybe it should be higher.
No. But
they're going to take it from your personal income that you've had an entire life to accrue.
Wait. Now they have personal income?
No, that's what I'm saying.
Take it from your net worth.
They don't have much personal income. I didn't say it's zero.
Wait.
No, it's not. Hold on. It's not from your. No. Stop. The estate tax is not from your personal income. It's based on your overall transferred assets, which includes your stock. So when you die and you have all this stock and you transfer it to your kid, if it's over 11.4 million, which for Bezos and Musk and these people, it's way over that, they're paying 40% on that, which is higher than the capital gains rate. And higher than the income tax rate.
So they're dead at this point. They got to live exactly
like after they die, they pay their taxes.
That's a different conversation than what you were talking about.
No, you said that they're selling their stock to pay taxes.
And they're paying their fair share in taxes.
Look at the chart. I posted a chart. Look at this. Share of all income earned compared to share of all taxes paid. The U.S. is a highly progressive tax system. It's just
I didn't say that.
Unquestionably.
I don't think anybody's denying that part.
You are. You're all these billion. These people don't pay taxes. They pay a higher percentage of taxes than the share of income they get.
And by the way, Bam, this is not incompatible with thinking that
look at the chart
should increase. But it is. We need to have a fucking understanding of how taxations work in this country, and the idea that billionaires don't. Huh?
You said that they were selling their stock to pay taxes. You said something stupid. Don't act like you're
selling their stocks. Of course, they're selling their stocks.
How they're not. That's not happening.
Okay,
that's not happening.
Wait. Bezos did not sell his stock and pay a $2.7 billion tax bill. That didn't happen.
No, he not to pay taxes. He didn't sell them.
No. Wait, no. How did he pay those taxes?
Some larger business.
You don't sell to pay taxes. When you sell, you pay taxes. You can't use that until you sell it.
Well, no. Yeah. You can borrow.
Wait. Bam. I have a question. How do we have Jeff Bezos' tax records and it says that he paid? I don't know how much was it? $10 billion.
Billions.
I assume it was Amazon.
Did that happen or did that not happen? And if it did happen, how did that happen?
He didn't. I'm saying that he ended up selling a portion of his stock, but he didn't sell it to.
Why?
Wait.
Why did he sell?
Wait. Damn. What are you talking about? What are you saying happened?
Else he wanted to buy.
What are you saying happened? He didn't pay those taxes?
No, I didn't
say
the
IRS did not collect that.
You said that. I paid those as income taxes. You said he sold.
It doesn't matter. Wait. Bam.
It doesn't matter. Wait. Don't say that. What?
Did he not pay $12 billion in taxes last year?
Last year? I don't know.
Okay,
he should have just taken out more loans.
Let's talk about that for a second.
What are we talking about? Lactoid, can you just? What was the number? That you?
Yeah, let's look up. And is this total?
So while you're doing that, Gibbs, you can say whatever you want to say.
Yeah. So this is really interesting to me.
I'm not a leftist. You're more.
He's not even a leftist.
He's on the left.
So something interesting is happening here.
See, Bam. See how we get treated, Bam. See how we get treated.
So this is something interesting. I want to combine kind of what Ali has been saying, right? He's been talking about like he wants people can't afford rent, et cetera, and what's the solution?
No public record on Jeff Bezos' taxes from 75.
Great.
There's estimates. There's estimates.
Hold on. Just let me go. You can yell at each other.
Just me, bro.
So here's the deal, right? He's talking about we want to be able to pay rent, et cetera, yada yada, right? This is what the people want. Republicans, the reason why they got behind Trump, similar reasons, they have populist reasons, right? Here's what's interesting. Hunter is actually, in Blackstone, are kind of hitting something kind of like on the head here with like how y'all may not understand how the economics work, but then they're kind of like, then Hunter for sure is missing the boat, right? Which is, okay, if we're going to sit here and restructure taxes, right? Okay, if I looked up how many billionaires there were, right? And then how much of the total like wealth they had accumulated together. They're between about $8 to $9 trillion in wealth total. Now, the United States debt's about like 38 trillion last time I looked, right? So even if we took every penny they owed, we still wouldn't be able to go and fix what Ali is saying. And this is why y'all are going over here with all y'all's bullshit, because these programs aren't how you fucking fix these issues.
This is also stupid.
These people are the ones that are providing the most jobs. Look at Elon. He's building the biggest factory of all time in Texas, right?
This is pay people $15 an hour.
Hundreds of thousands of jobs.
You get your $15 an hour.
This creates other jobs like adjacent to it, which increases the economy.
Yeah.
This is how you get people to be able to pay rent.
Love
Not
jobs,
what y'all saying.
$15
And this
an
is
hour.
why y'all are losing the middle, right? Because y'all are sitting here saying, even the bourgeoisie people in the middle are going, oh, okay, hey, let's just tax all the middle class. Let's change structure. Let's tax the rich even more. Like, that's literally what y'all just advocated for. And then the other group is going socialism, and the independents are going, holy fuck, y'all are insane. Let's go vote Republican or not vote at all. And so, hey, keep doing what you're doing. This is why the incumbents are getting voted out on y'all's side, because y'all sound like crazy people.
Lactoid said something that doesn't seem verifiably true.
Lactoid, did you see the fucking
receives 10% of
chat?
all federal tax subsidies. There's no record
I'm
on
not talking about
on
Amazon.
his personal.
Yeah,
on his
I
personal
called
wealth,
this.
taxes.
I
There's no
called this that he
estimate.
confuses billionaires
No, I'm
with
not
corporations.
confusing. I'm saying something in order. That there's a first thing, and there's a second thing that comes after it.
Obviously, Amazon is not paying a lot of
Go ahead.
people.
It's going to be
Go
lame
ahead. You can say
too.
the second thing. Go ahead.
Is that there is no public record related to how much Jeff Bezos pays.
I answered this.
income taxes.
I
There's
don't know.
not
You
even
tell
an
me.
estimate.
Maybe you
There's
didn't hear me.
estimate
No.
exists because there's no information
There is
that
estimates.
exists.
There is
No, it's
estimates.
not.
There is estimates. Yes,
Hold on,
there
hold
is.
on, let Bam finish. Go ahead, Bam. What were you gonna
I
say?
estimate he
They don't
paid
even-
nothing.
They don't even know what
You're
he
an
makes
idiot.
as far as personal
Yes.
income.
So no.
I'm the
He
idiot,
sold.
Hunter,
He
that's
sold
right.
13.6 billion in 2024. The estimate is that if you sell 13.6 billion dollars in stock, he paid about 2.7 billion.
Wait, if you can't verify that, then how are you going to make that as your part of
Are
your
you
plan?
Because I don't have access to Jeff Bezos' tax
Are you
return.
Are you an idiot, Rebel? Are you dumb?
Stop.
No.
What the fuck are we
definitely not.
talking about? We can verify that he sold stocks. That
And
goes
that this
against
is a
Bam's
taxable
principles.
event.
Stop.
Yeah,
Stop.
yeah,
Lactoid.
hold on.
This
I agree with them.
goes against Bam's principles, which he's saying that they don't need to sell stock, that they can just perpetually hold on to stock for as long as they want to, and they just borrow against that
don't have
amount.
to.
That goes against the verified activity
Not for
that
taxes.
Bezos multiple times sells stocks all the time.
So, hold on,
Yes.
hold on.
I agree. We should
Wait,
take
wait.
all of
I think there's
Soros'
multiple
money,
things-
and then
hold
the
on.
Democrats will never get any coming in there.
And he pays taxes
I think-
on
I
those
think there's
sales.
multiple things. I think there's multiple things happening here, right? So
I
there's
think I'm
there's
working on
things
Realized
happening.
gains.
There's multiple things happening, right? So I think, and I haven't checked what has been sold, what hasn't, right? I'm just going to go off of the things that you have all been saying, okay, right?
Mm-hmm.
If Jeff Bezos sells a certain number of stocks, right? Yes, that is a taxable event, right?
sold
And
them
he
to
should,
fund the
unless
aerospace
he's
company that
loopholing
was
somehow, right?
tax
He should
subsidized.
pay taxes on that event, right? That's separate, okay? And
Lactoid's
then
gonna disagree with the should, but
I
I
think-
agree with the should.
Elon Musk
think
sold
what-
16 billion of Tesla stock and paid 11 billion in taxes.
Yeah. But hold on, but I think he's. But I think, and maybe Bam, you can correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I'm misstating your point. I don't want to do that, right? But I think what you're saying is that there are other taxes outside of like stock sales, right? And then for those taxes, what they may be doing is like taking out loans, just like they do for most of their expenses. They take
Like
out
his
loans
personal-
against
again,
their collateral.
He's not living.
then,
He's a billionaire,
is
but
that
not
what
getting
you're trying to
taxed on
say?
his billion.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like he's not living on these things. Like we looked up how much he sold because like you're talking about, he sold these things. He sold his stock last year to fund his Blue Origin space exploration company that's receiving a massive amount of tax subsidies. So he's like, oh, okay, I need a little bit of cash flow for this, and I'm gonna make it back in subsidies.
No, that's not how that works.
Wait, what do you mean you make it back in subsidies? Subsidies are deduction. What are we talking about?
Yeah, so he
It's
doesn't
not
pay. He
positive
doesn't pay the
income.
tax there. He just paid it with the.
No, he does pay the because if you liquidate,
liquidated.
if you liquidate to then put into a company, you pay taxes on what you liquidated, even if the company gets subsidies,
but then it
even if the
subsidizes
company
you.
gets tax deductions.
The subsidized
but the
isn't
company's
positive
profitable.
income. It's a deduction.
Hold on,
the
Bam.
company's
Bam is what
And
you're
this is why
saying,
subsidies are bad.
Hold on. Sorry, I'm trying to help here, right?
We're not
And
having
again,
that fucking
guys,
argument.
I can't verify any of this, right? So I'm just going over what you're saying. Bam, is what you're saying that yes, he took it out, right? There was a taxable event, right? When he sold the stock, right? But then like he did other things with that with the rest of that
Not like
money,
personal.
right?
It's not like, oh, I'm using this to pay my bills.
Yeah.
I'm using
Obviously,
this to
put
make
that
me money.
somewhere else, right? And you're
Uh-huh.
and I think what you're saying is that the cumulative tax burden after you add all that up is that he comes out ahead. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, puts it into a profitable $1 billion.
He comes out
company.
ahead.
He doesn't have to.
He
pay
makes
tax.
more money off of. Hold on. Wait, let me be really clear about what you're saying right now. You are saying that Jeff Bezos. Let's pretend for a second that the IRS doesn't exist all of a sudden. Now Jeff Bezos loses money. That's what you're saying?
No, he's saying he gains money.
No, right. So he's gaining money because of the IRS.
No, because it's appreciating value of the company that he's investing into.
He's lowering his He's lowering his. I think what he's saying, and again,
you said he comes out ahead.
I don't want to.
Because of the appreciating value of the stock that he's utilizing.
Is that there's a?
What are we talking?
Let's say
that's what he's referring to.
That's different.
That's
what he's making money. Obviously, he is. What the fuck are we talking about?
Hold on, Hunter. I think it's saying, again, I could be wrong, and please correct me, right? But
you just don't understand, Riddell.
Is that there's a?
I understand completely, but we're just
no,
guys, stop it. There's a cumulative tax burden, right? For all these different events, there's a whole list of different tax events, right? That can happen, and much more for a person like Elon Musk, right?
Yes.
And then, but. Like because of how complex the tax code is, right? Maybe we should get rid of that. I don't know, right? But because of how complex the tax code is, right?
Shut the fuck up, you're on my side, remember?
If you're investing that money, or if you're like if you're doing various actions that money, you can lower your tax burden in various ways, right?
Okay.
And the cumulative. Hold on, you don't know you can lower your tax burden.
Right? Wait, hold on. If you're saying obviously you can hold money into stocks and then you're going to pay less taxes than if it were liquidated, yeah, duh, that's good. Obviously,
that's not what I'm saying.
Okay. But even if it's liquidated, I'm saying I'm using this money for something else. There's a whole list of subsidies, right? Hold on. Hopefully, I'm not sounding crazy to you, right? There's a whole list of subsidies, right? And tax benefits if you do certain actions with your money, right?
Obviously.
And okay, great. So then I believe what Bam is saying is that like what Elon Musk sells that stock, right? There's a tax event, right? But
massive tax event.
What he does with the non-taxed portion, right? Whatever he does with it, that cumulatively lowers his tax burden. So yes, he does pay that initial tax, but like if he had just like taken out and just put in the bank, right? His tax burden would have been higher if he hadn't invested.
No. I understand. Okay, here's the confusion. So we're not talking about corporate assets here because there's depreciation and all that stuff. We're talking about personal assets. So you can reduce your overall taxable income if you give to charity. So let's say I have $100, right? Mm-hmm. Let's say I've got a stock worth $100, right? Or even make it even easier. I go to a job and I make $100. I now have $100 in my hand. I'm paying a tax rate on that full $100. If I give 50 of those dollars to charity, I am now only paying tax on $50, but I'm still paying tax on that $50. I'm just not paying tax on the money that I gave to charity.
To be clear, you are going. Wait, hold on. To be clear, the way that marginal tax rates work, which by the way, we were just making fun of people not understanding it, you will necessarily have less money than after the charitable donation. You can't be making more money.
Yes.
It's impossible. If you give a charitable donation, you will be making less money. Your just taxation percentage as a whole will be less.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think that's.
And this is the critical thing, right? This is why when I post charts showing that rich people disproportionately pay a share of taxes compared to the amount of money they bring in, when I bring up literal events of Jeff Bezos in 2024 paying $2.7 billion in taxes because of sold Amazon stock, and I post another empirical, I guess, case study of Elon Musk paying $11 billion worth of taxes when he liquidated his Tesla stock. Yes, these people pay taxes and they have to liquidate their stock sometimes. I don't disagree that they can take out loans on their stock, but the chickens will come home to roost. You will have to pay that at some point.
I want to clear something up with Bam, right? Because like when I said before, at least when I thought everyone was on the same page, maybe we weren't, right? When I'm saying, hey, he made more, right? What I meant like is more than he would have otherwise if he didn't lower his tax burden.
No,
right?
That's incorrect.
But Bam, is that what you meant? That's what that's the point.
I'm saying that if he's taking this money and he's giving it to a government preferential business, something that the government has an interest in. And they're saying that, oh, okay, we're actually going to lower your tax burden. Like we want you to put the capital into it, so we're not going to tax you on this capital that you're gaining.
Uh-huh.
And
no, they are taxing him.
A profitable business.
They tax him when he liquidates.
Yes, if you sell your stock and then you put all that money into a business, you pay taxes on the liquidated stock. Yes.
Yes, but it will be less because you will get subsidized. I agree that.
No. The business will, not you. It's very important to keep this separately. Yes, you pay the full taxes. The business gets subsidized later.
Okay,
yes. But it's essentially the same as a donation. Like what you're going to pay taxes on.
It's not. No, it's not a donation. No. The donation, reducing your taxable income for like a charitable donation, only applies if you give it to a charity, not if you invest it into a business.
But
I planned on being here for 3.5 hours or whatever. So if you guys are going to keep fighting about tax policy, can I?
I want to give my outro too, and I want.
Okay, yeah. Why don't we give our? Yeah, we could do that. And before that, let me just do super chats very quickly. Thank you for the kindness. Audacity 69, who I think I've seen you before a long time. At least I think I recognize this this avatar, but I don't know. Maybe that was someone else. But anyway, thank you, Audacity 69. Dragon Ball Z. I know. He's
gonna murder you one of these days. Okay. I'm gonna show up to a debate, and this time I get killed.
I wouldn't commit any violence. Right? And Lactoid, tell your prosecutor friends that Prime doesn't engage in violence.
You got it out, don't worry.
Shout out Wish Blaster, which is what they said. Thank you for the $5 super chat. And then finally another one from Audacity 69. How do I stay out of black people's business? I don't know. Did that come up? Oh, black people's business.
It's hard. It's hard. The business is really entertaining. I'm not gonna lie.
Business.
Yeah, and it's entertaining.
Indeed. Yeah, we're pretty dope people actually.
I support black business.
True that part.
When's the last time you supported a black business like Toy?
I have a really good joke, but given new Twitch standards, I don't know if I should say. Go ahead.
My great grand.
That is not what I was going. That is actually.
Oh no!
Cancel him.
It's crazy. Holy shit. Okay, that was a better joke than I had.
My bad.
Yeah, thank you all. So we're gonna give an outro to these amazing people. I really appreciate it. We had a great conversation here. I actually wanted to go back to the incumbent thing because I think there was more to talk to there, but talk about there. But I thought I had a great conversation. This is really what I wanted. Shout out to Bam, who inspired this conversation last week, right? We clearly have a different opinion, and that's not going to change anytime soon. But I appreciate my friend Bam coming on here and being so kind as to sharing his opinion, getting into the fight, right? I even appreciate Hunter. I do. I appreciate people who disagree with me. That's always been the case, right? Gibbs disagrees with me much more. Gibbs is a homie. So shout out to everyone who came in here, and we had lively discussion. We filled out almost the entire portion of time, right, on just this topic. So I really appreciate you, all of you. So let's go to our friend Lactoid for his outro.
All right. Be very quick about this. You can find me at Lactoid TV on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. 2, I no taxes because know thy enemy, critically important. And 3, this is where I alienate all of you Dems. I think you're all huffing massive copium if you're not pretending that you're not going to say the exact same thing the next Republican candidate and the one after that and the one after that. What is my evidence for this? Well, we can take a look at not only every single president, but let's take a look at one of the more prominent recent ones, George W. Bush. May 2008. What was his favorability amongst Democrats? 10%, with a 90% unfavorability rating. What about 2017? That's not too much later, right? 2017, 51% favorability amongst Democrats. They switched on a dime. All of a sudden, Bush, who they had hated just before Obama, now, well, he wasn't so bad. Look at look how much better he is than Trump. The same shit's going to happen. Whatever candidate, whatever the Republicans put up, they're going to say, well, even Trump was better than this guy. We have to vote blue no matter who. That is what will
Absolutely.
happen. Mark my words.
Well, yeah, I'm not
Thank
voting
you.
for a Republican.
The
They're
man
like
speaks.
terrible people.
The man speaks truth, right? Except when he's talking about socialism, but he speaks truth most of the time. Shout out to you, Lecter. Seriously.
Can I bet like $20 on that?
You don't think that's going to happen against him?
I think if it's Vance, it will. I think if it's Rubio, it won't.
You think
so? So yeah, I'll bet Lactoid $20 that Trump will be a unique villain in American Republican history.
I will take that bet, but I need to know what the time scale is. Are we allowing for like I guess what the like is there like Democrat candidate in between? Like
yeah, literally whatever makes sense. So for instance, like if a Democrat wins, we're not. Well, I guess we would find out, or we wouldn't find out. We would eventually.
Yeah, we would eventually find out. Yeah, I will say I think that Trump's approval now. I believe Trump's approval rating will increase substantially. What that means, I don't know. I don't know if it's going to hit 50%, but it will increase.
Literally, like the. I mean, I know $20 is nothing. We're probably going to forget that we even have this bet, but. If like we remember that we have this bet and we get through the first term of the first Republican after Trump, I bet like $50 that Trump is going to be reviled as a uniquely shitty Republican.
I would take that bet too.
If you give it like a whole term of a different president first, I'll take that bet. Yeah, $20.
Okay. You don't have a chance within the next decade.
Clip it and ship it, someone. So you
can't dox me though. I don't know how I'm gonna get you the $20, but I'll super chat it or something. I don't know.
We'll find a way to dox you. Don't worry.
Let's go.
We might not be alive in 8 years. Okay, let's.
Hopefully, my good friend the Lactoid will be around in 8 years, and also Hunter because he's got the beautiful children, and we want him to be around for his children.
Just my children. That's all that you care about.
You've already fulfilled your evolutionary purpose.
It's your only fun.
As an atheist, deterministic, postmodern, neo-Marxist, you know me.
Go ahead, Hunter, please.
Yeah, I do think that the tax policy genuinely is really showing why I find DSA candidates so abhorrent. It's because they think that like free fucking go grocery stores, like genuinely, I know everyone's like, but maybe it'll work. If the grocery stores work, if the city-owned grocery stores work that are operating at 30% below the median citywide policies function, if those function, I have to like genuinely throw out everything that I ever have known about economics. And like the Marxists have won, and I will surrender to the DSA. I'll be like, the Marxists were right. I don't know what the hell is going on anymore. I don't know anything about how the economy functions. So until that happens, I'm going to stick the landing and say that I hate DSA, but you know, if it ends up functioning, you know, I'll be on your team because something is broken. I don't know what the hell. No one should trust my opinion ever.
Okay. To be clear, they're not free grocery stores. Just
citywide grocery stores. Citywide.
Okay, fair enough. But thank you so much, Hunter, and we'll see. Right? I'm curious how they'll work as well.
I'm not curious. I know how they'll work.
Okay, fair enough. And but
I could be wrong. Who knows?
Stranger things to our friend Admiral Gibbs.
Yeah, as one of the more principled people here, I just want to say, like, real simply, you know, don't vote one color no matter what, right? Like, I don't like Dan Patrick. He got to go. He's not what we want here in Texas. He's failing us, right? So, you know, overall, when we looked at this stuff, all this economic policy they were pushing in their fact, just like Hunter said, they don't really understand economics, right? You know, Hunter might understand it, but he wants to use his understanding of it to oppress you. And this is why y'all are all starting to shift towards the Republican Party. Independents don't like it, and I'm very glad that the DSA is coming in here because it's just proving that the liberal world order is dying and dead, and the liberals just don't know it yet because y'all been uppity and y'all been arrogant and y'all haven't listened to people like Ali from your own party. And you know what? I'm glad that the chickens have come home to roost, Papa Boucher, because guess what? You're getting whoopings now, and y'all can say, oh, only a couple candidates won, but you know it's just the start. We're seeing a little more get elected every time. Bigger candidates get elected, and guess what? Y'all are getting pushed out. And y'all can feel it. And guess what? The pan-Arab socialists and the socialists in general are kicking your ass. And, you know, I don't really like the socialists, but you know what? I really don't like the libs either. They're terrible. So I guess if I have to pick one, you know, I'd rather libs. But, hey, you know, a win's a win for us. And I hope that y'all keep pushing insanity because it's going to keep pushing people to Republicans. If you love what I have to say or hate what I have to say, find me everyone's Admiral Gibbs.
Gibbs, we don't like you either, so I appreciate it.
Liberals are the scum of the earth. Let's go to our friend Riddell, who I like despite being part of that scum. But like, he's cool. Go ahead.
I just feel like there's a very clear issue going on right now in America with this current administration, and I do think, if possible, getting past it will be pretty dope. Ultimately, it is a calculation to kind of get past everything we're going on right now. And then the stuff with the socialism, I do think there's an interesting argument on like what proper line should be drawn to ensure that it doesn't grow. But ultimately, just because people are espousing progressive policies doesn't necessarily mean they're in line with socialists. A lot of them pretty clearly said that they're not part of the platform. Even more like centrist-y Democrats are pushing out like more progressive policies as well attached to their platform because it just appeals to the people to get votes at the end of the day. So that is what's going on right now. I'm not a no vote blue no matter who individual. I'm a let's stop fascism, let's stop communism type of individual. So as long as we kind of, better America, that's what matters. And a lot of y'all be yapping, I'm not gonna lie. So and you guys need to chill out sometimes. You too, Hunter. I think, Hunter, you need to be nicer.
That was
to the
obviously
average
towards
voter.
me. I agree.
No, you be yapping.
I don't agree, but I understand.
Because at the end of the day, in order for politics to change, the voters have to be on board. That's just
but I also feel like I gotta educate them, and sometimes.
But in order to educate them, you have to,
you have to have them listen to you.
They have to listen to your proposition. That's the important part.
Maybe I'm not sure
can't.
about that.
Super condescending.
Well, that's just how it works.
No,
people are not gonna listen to you.
I would like to actually talk to you about like the billionaire thing at some point, maybe one-on-one, just to have a conversation, a calm.
I will try to have a calm conversation. I don't promise
because maybe
no. I think I can have a calm conversation. I'd love to talk about it.
No, Hunter, you know some really good facts, and I probably agree with you a lot more than often, but sometimes relax.
Sometimes I go crazy.
You got to relax a little bit. Final thing. Purple Political Breakdown. That's my podcast. Feel free to check it out. Next audio episode dropping tomorrow. I had a conversation with Mr. B, and we talked about the House of Representatives and uncapping the House. So feel free to listen to that when it drops.
We should also abolish the Senate. That's pretty good. DSA is for that.
Well, I didn't say that. Well.
Because you're a filthy liberal. Anyway, let's go to our friend Counterpoint.
Like liberals aren't in favor of abolishing the Senate.
And another one of my homies, Counterpoints. I'm really happy that you were here. I really enjoyed. I always enjoy hearing your points. I wish I could have heard more from you, Counterpoints. Right? Because I think you always have a really interesting perspective. Whether I agree or disagree, I always have a lot of fun with it. Whatever you're going to say. So hopefully we can get you back again. Hopefully. We can have another conversation.
I'll try to make it a more frequent occurrence. I think the lefties took it easy on us tonight by fighting amongst themselves passionately for the first 30 to 40 minutes. So realistically, it was an easy night. So looking forward to the next one being a little bit more challenging. But I hope you appreciated me rolling grenades into the discourse every now and then. So, what I would say in reference to this topic, I am a moderate. I do think that I made a moderate calculus in reference to this last election. However, if the moderates don't want to lose out to the generational changing of the guard that's happening right now, both on the left and the right, then they actually need to govern, which means looking at American problems and actively trying to solve them. I don't think that while I am with Hunter in massive agreement that the American electorate is a bunch of dipshits and that they shouldn't be trusted with more than they shouldn't be trusted with more than a sharpened spoon. At the same time saying, hey, you're a dipshit who shouldn't be trusted with more than a sharpened spoon. I'm sorry that your rent doubled in the past 10 years, but get good, you fucking loser. That's probably not a winning electoral message. So
I probably agree.
Right. So we should probably work on actual solutions that appeal to Americans and figure out how to market them to actual Americans, even if I agree with that sentiment. Then what I would say is that if you were interested in me yapping at all, then you can find me in a variety of places. I'm primarily a science fiction YouTuber, so Counterpoints 40K is where I break down the wonderful world of Warhammer. But if you want to see more political commentary or live streams, you can check out Counterpoints Politics. That's where I stream on Tuesdays, 9:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. And then the rest of the week, same time frame, 9:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. EST, I'm live on Valor Media Network, VALOR Media Common Spelling Network, Common Spelling. So come check me out.
Thank you so much. Also, Lagwood agrees with the comment section because he doesn't agree with democracy. He wants to vastly limit it with like literacy tests.
And IQ tests.
Yeah. What'd you say?
And IQ
tests.
And IQ tests, indeed.
I've accepted the libertarian.
That would be such a fucking blue wave. I'm excited for it.
Look, you think so? I don't know about that.
I'm not so sure. But let's go to our friend Ali. Thank you. Ali is trying to fight the good fight. I see you there, brother. Always a homie. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, of course. Thanks for having me. See, Riddell, the issue is I can't speak for everyone else here, but it's hard to yap. It's hard to stop yapping when you're just so right. Right? When I'm correct, when I know what the fuck's going on, and I just have to profess to all of you what's happening. Right? I'm trying to lead the sheep to the down to the flag. But
sheep.
But yeah, no, Prime, thanks for having me, guys. I love the conversations. Once again, Monday's always my favorite night. And as always, free Palestine.
As always, free Palestine every day. All right, we got to get that message out. All right, so I'm going to rate out.
Yeah, I'm sure people don't know.
I mean,
sure
no one will do anything about it. So
so
it's clearly helping
because it's inconvenient. I'm going to rate out
Keep
to
it
a
chugging along,
woman
guys.
who looks black. So Lactoid gets a chance to pretend to support a black business again.
Hell yeah.
And so I can give that a try. Come back next week. It'll be great. We'll do more stuff. It'll be fantastic. And raid. Thanks, guys.
Beautiful.
All right, friends. Peace.
Bye.
Peace.
Oh my God. End stream, please. Thank you. End stream. End stream. I'm not sure if it's ended.